Hello. Yeah. Two Jayashrees, correct. Some problem with voice. People just check, confirm whether the audio and video is clear. Okay, then fine. Please, people, check your own systems then. All right. Just give me another 2 minutes. We need to go live also in YouTube. That is the reason I am just waiting. Some technical issue we are facing. So once it is sorted, we can start with the topics. How to read newspaper. How to read newspaper means, okay, once we go live, I will start with that. Nurjahan, Gauri. Yeah, good evening. Mishra. Money TK. My grandmother, what should I take class or anything else? Non-current affair related queries only towards the end of the class, people. Till then, please wait. Hold on to your houses. How are you? I'm fantastic, Yogesh. Good evening, Nirupama Nandi. Are yaar. Again, please tell it is important to make notes of CA. Don't make notes of CA, Ritu, because if you keep making the notes, you will only end up improving your handwriting. Low Jingamba Sanojam, facing issues with consistency. Again, all these queries will take it up later. Good evening. Again, another Jayashri there. Rani Kushbu, Shweta Sinha, Silent UPSC, Akila, Gayatri, Sukesh, Shravan Kumar, Indrajit, Saraswati, Magesh, Dhwani, Prakriti, Sarina. All right. Chalo. So first of all, let me welcome all of you, whoever have joined newly, all of that. So one predominant query that I keep getting is how to read newspaper. The front page, obviously, because it will tell you what are the main news there. All said and done, it will give you the main news there. So obviously you need to read it to know what is happening in the world. Afterwards, after you finish reading this, you straight away jump to the center page. Center page is where you will have the editorial. Then you will have another 2 sets of articles here, very big articles, which can be very confusing, very big, tough language and all that. Then on this side, you will be having your one more page will be there. Here one article, here another article, and here one another article with probably graphs. This is the general trend. In the front page also, when you read, you should only take what is factual. Not what a politician said, not what not what somebody from some party said, somebody from Congress said. That is not relevant. Supreme Court ruling is there, Prime Minister said something, Chief Minister said something, Governor is there. Those you will note down. Why? These are constitutional posts. That you will make a note of. Note in the sense, you read it. You read and try to understand. Those articles are important. Alright. Now specifically, if a number is given, a data is given, that you will note down. An organization's name is given, a report that they release is given, that you will note down. An important High Court ruling or a Supreme Court judgment is there, that you will note down. Coming to the editorial page or any other page after, for that matter, this editorial everywhere, editorial especially if you take it up, especially the articles, especially that comes in the paper, the Hindu, I'll tell you, it is always anti-government. Very rare it is for the Hindu to actually report things which are pro-government. It is very rare. Otherwise, they will always give a one-sided version of all the stories. So when you read these articles also, again you should look for what facts you should look for, numbers you should look for, numerical data. Those are important. Facts are not there, numbers are not there. It is just a random statement-based article means you can chuck the entire article out. No organizations' names are mentioned. No report is mentioned. Let us say, even if a parliamentary standing committee's observations are there, You need to note it down. But nothing is there. Randomly they are going on giving things. Then you are not going to. There is no point in reading it. It is somebody else's opinion. I also have an opinion. Even I am capable of writing articles. Even I can give it. Just because you were in one big position doesn't give you the complete moral authority to give, yeah, this is the ultimate truth. This is the ultimate statement. Any statement that you give, it should be based on facts, because that is one of the major criteria for a civil servant. If you are going to open your mouth in the interview, if you are going to write an answer in your mains exam, it is going to be on the basis of fact and fact alone. Now again, another question that I keep getting is, sir, how to remember all these facts and numbers? The same old thing, repeated reading. Other than that, there is no other go. If I ask you who is the first Prime Minister of India, you are able to recollect it. Why? Because you have heard it that many number of times. So with these facts and data, also the same thing you are going to do. You note down the facts, you note down the data, and then you keep revisiting the PYQs, the previous year questions. Then you can go to the text and context. So after you're done with the editorial, you can go to the business section to check out what are the important economic news there. Then you come back to the national level news, etc., etc. The other news you can go afterwards. So in the initial half itself, when you start with the paper, you target all the main news first, like front page, center page, business section. So even if you don't cover the other articles, I'm not telling it is okay, but yeah, in case you don't cover it also, you're not going to lose out much. State-wise, some news will be there. Say, for example, in one particular state, they have brought this particular scheme, like Tamil Nadu's new hybrid pension model. Some news like that you may end up missing. So that is the reason why after doing all this, you should visit the other sections again, just to see in any state they have done something new, which can be replicated in other state, or maybe even replicated at a national level, which can be utilized everywhere. This is what you're going to do. All right. Then what you will do, you are going to visit the PYQs. Now, no matter how much ever I say this, just like a stuck tape recorder, I know one thing, that none of you will do this. Visit PYQs, topic wise analyze it. So when you analyze it topic wise, what is the advantage there is? You get to know which topics are getting repeated on a frequent basis. Got the point here? On a frequent basis, which are the topics that comes. And then you will find that over a week's time or even a month's time, whatever data you have collected, you are able to know, see, okay, this data I can use it for this topic, or this answer I can, or this particular fact I can use for that topic, this particular Supreme Court ruling I can use it for this topic. Like that, you will start making the connection. You have to do this exercise, no, come what may. Generally, nobody will do it, because this is actually like you have to put the effort from your side, right? Many won't do it. And from day one, when you are having that interaction with your previous year questions, you're automatically getting answers to almost all your concerns with UPSC, which is what is really important and what is not so important. And knowing that differentiation, knowing that difference is what will create all the difference between a topper and one who doesn't clear. This is what you do. There is nothing called a best newspaper and all. See, first of all, understand there is nothing called best newspaper, best optional, best strategy, nothing like that. Read the newspaper, collect the facts and data from it, analyze the PYQs, see where you can use it. Repeatedly keep revising it. UPSC, it is as simple as that. There is nothing called as some $1 million strategy is there. Nothing is there. It is plain old consistent hard work. All right, people. So that is the logic here. Now moving on to the topics today. Supreme Court ruling on equality in education, digital arrest, Operation Sindoor, IPS deputation, Manipur, Artemis 2, BMIC project, judicial misconduct, bail standard in child sexual offences, source code, stray dog feeding, rare earth elements, marine and space biotechnology, NEET PG vacancies, new UGC rules, global unemployment, water contamination. Some of these topics are actually what was left over from last week. Some topics we will see how it is important that you wait for some time for some conclusion to happen. Any further queries of current affairs, please reserve it towards the end of the class, not now. Alright, so let us look into it now. But before that, current geopolitics, a very big article, because this entire week, right from last Monday to probably this Saturday, it is filled with international relations. So let us try to understand these topics one by one. Some are all cross connected, some doesn't have that much of connection, some are standalone topics, but all said and done, we should try to understand it and what is the Indian angle to it. Alright, so let us get right into it now. India's overall strategic environment. India is operating in a global environment marked by weakened multilateralism, contested spheres of influence, supply chain reconfiguration, and heightened security competition. Post 1945 international order is widely perceived as weakened. Major powers are increasingly asserting dominance with perceived spheres of influence. Concerns exist that similar unilateral interventions may be replicated by multiple powers. What does it mean? See, post 1945, we had actually two major powers. USA, the military bloc NATO, and then you had USSR with the military bloc Warsaw Pact. Both these countries were actually into more or less an ideological war. Why an ideological war? Because US led NATO actually believed in capitalism. USSR led Warsaw believed in communism. So both of them were always into a constant case of what? Conflict and clashes. Multiple clashes had occurred. It had occurred in Vietnam. It had taken place in Egypt. It has taken place in different parts of the world, including Afghanistan being the last major known conflict between NATO and Warsaw in Afghanistan. And that marked the end of what? The Afghan invasion. The Afghan invasion by USSR actually led to its decline. Because Afghanistan, again, being a country where they are fiercely independent, they may not have food, they may not have water, they may not have money, modern amenities, etc. But one thing that all Afghani people are very, very equal and united on, that is patriotism. They won't tolerate a foreign intervention. So if you go back to history, if you look at the Anglo-Afghan wars that were fought, that is around 4 Afghan wars were fought by the British. All the 4 wars British lost. It is very important to take your lessons from history because history always repeats. So even the Russians learnt it the hard way that if you go into a war with Afghans, you're never going to win it. Because the threat of a weapon, especially when I have drawn my weapon and I'm pointing it at you, if you're not scared, then there is no point in pointing it now. Now the only other option left with me is to fire. Got the logic here? So Afghan people, etc., especially the teenage boys onwards, if you see, they are not at all scared if somebody points a weapon at them. They will smile, pull out their knife, and they will come forward. So USSR's disintegration was complete by 1990, let us say, 1990-91. USSR was completely disintegrated. And from a multipolar world, from 1945 to 1990, post 1990, the world saw what? A unilateral world led by USA, where US will decide the things. The whole era of Bill Clinton, George Bush, later George W. Bush, his son, that entire deal. This went like this, with this US hegemony, you can call it, the proper word for it. This went about for a quite a time. Let us say at least till 2008. Why 2008? Because 2008 marked recession, a collapse of the American economy. And with that, slowly the power equation in international politics started to change. Correct, Shanu? They are built like that. Nothing else. They are just built like that. It is not a country where you can subjugate it. So some people are there. They are fiercely patriotic. Say for example, even the Israelis, if you see, Jewish population, if you see, when there is an external threat or attack on them, there is nothing called as a ruling party or an opposition party. Ruling and opposition will come together. For them, it is ultimately what you're attacking our country. So we are now going to stand united. It is not about opposition will try to question the army like how we have it in our country. Whether questioning our army or questioning our whatever data is provided by the government to question each and everything just because I am in the opposition. That's not how it works in the rest of in many other parts of the world. So that is the logic there. That is true. What Shiva said. One is largely, if you notice, it is a tribal culture. It's actually a tribal culture. Say for example, multiple times I have said this. That is, they want to take away Northeast. That is, they want to cut away Northeast. Bangladesh wants it to be cut. There are idiots sitting inside our country who wants Northeast to be cut. My opinion. Please be my guest. Because once you enter there, then Indian army will have to be sent to save you from the tribal population there. Tribal population, one thing about them is they are very, very territorial. They will not tolerate an external influence or an external power. Got the point here? So this is the logic. So till here, recession, USA was the major player, but afterwards slowly the power equation started changing. Now the new player in the scene was actually what? Something nobody would have foresaw or foreseen. That was China. China was the new major player. Now what helped China to become a major player? Well, two simple things. One was population, which allowed them to go for what? Cheap labor. The presence of cheap labor actually brought in what? Drew investments. Not just cheap labor. If cheap labor attracted investments, there was another reason why China's growth story became the classic example of a country taking a lead if you invest in infrastructure. China, since the 80s and 90s, China was actually busy with what? So if in the 90s, if India was selling or privatizing PSUs, PSUs mean public sector units, government companies basically. India was selling or privatizing PSUs. What was China doing? Chinese PSUs were exerting global presence. Backed with Chinese government's complete support, these companies were working very efficiently, registering huge levels of profit. From that profits, they slowly started making investments in what? Technology. And today, Chinese technology is actually giving competition to Taiwanese or Japanese technology. Now, the fact goes without saying that Chinese technology, when it comes to durability or reliability, they still lack that good faith what probably a Japanese or a Taiwanese product will have. But nobody can dispute the fact that Chinese technology and the cheap labor together helped in bringing down prices of the goods in China. Suddenly, everybody felt that this is much more better. Something is available cheap. I will use it as long as it works. Then I will replace it. And that actually led to the Chinese growth story, which was what? Export driven growth. China was exporting more than what they were importing. China thus became an export surplus nation. And Chinese exports markets, if you see, US is Chinese market, Europe is Chinese market. India, even though we do import a large quantity of goods from China, we are not such a major player as far as China is concerned. For China, we are not at all a very big market. That is the reality. Clear? Correct? Correct, Shiva? Correct? This is the point. So that is the logic. Moving on. So now what is happening? Major powers are increasingly asserting dominance within perceived sphere of influence. So Russia in Ukraine, US in the Western Hemisphere, that is basically South America, largely South America or even east of USA, which is that Atlantic region where Greenland etc. is there. So that one side. China wants to exert its presence in Taiwan. Alright, so everywhere we can see major powers are all engaged in small regional battles which have all the probability of becoming what? A world war. But we don't know. We will have to still wait and watch how this thing is going to work. Concerns exist that similar unilateral interventions may be replicated by multiple powers. Because now what is happening is, there is a very good chance that wherever I have something to gain, I may attack that country. I may take over it or I may destroy it. There is a probability. Because if everybody starts indulging in their own little excursions or adventures, if USA now, kidnapped the Venezuelan president and his wife, was there any international repercussion? UN is silent practically. World leaders are also silent practically. Only with regard to Greenland now we can see some amount of opposition that is coming in. But otherwise it is largely silent. Getting the picture here. Even a country like China which has humongous amount of investments in Venezuela, when they are keeping quiet, they are like, they want to take over, let them take over. We will also do the same thing with Taiwan. So the point here is that increased culture of protectionism is what is happening these days. Protectionism means it is the exact opposite of globalization. Now, globalization as a theory or as a ideology started gaining grounds from the 90s. Basically, it means free movement of goods, services, and obviously people. Borderless. No trade, nothing. No borders basically for anything and everything. People can move freely, goods and services can move freely. That is the idea here. Wait, we'll come to that. Sabur. So this is the logic. But recently, what is happening is protectionism. What is protectionism? I want to protect my country's growth. I want to protect my country's industries. I want to protect my country's manufacturing. I want to protect the employment in my country. I don't want outsiders to come. This ideology has started picking up very drastically, at least in this last 4-5 years, especially post-corona. This idea had started gaining traction. World over now, the leaders are largely, they are actually baffled by this problem. How to increase growth within your own country? Or in other words, what is the most famously used phrase for it is domestic demand driven growth. Domestic demand driven growth is the growth model where you are not relying on exports. Because for exports, what is necessary? You have to have trade. But if I need to export my product, it is also important that I should keep my own borders open for other countries to export, or I should buy from other countries, which is generally not possible now. Because again, like I told you, I want to protect my people's job, I want to protect my industries, I want to protect my factories, my goods. I don't want international competition from anybody. So what do? I focus on this domestic demand driven growth. Leading in this particular ideology is China, India. From our earlier current affair news, I would have told you always, foreign institutional investors, FII is declining, FDI is declining. But what is increasing? Domestic investments in share market is increasing. So is the case with domestic private players are also slightly increasing their investments. Getting the point here? This is what is happening. Clear? This is the point here. Taking it further forward. India-China relations, procurement restrictions and investment. In 2020, India imposed restrictions on Chinese firms bidding for governmental contracts. Why in 2020? Restrictions on Chinese firms bidding for government contracts. That is, Chinese agencies, Chinese companies, they stopped them from taking part in contracts or bidding contracts. Bidding government contracts means I cannot take part in those competitive bidding areas wherever government contract is being awarded. Why? Galvin Valley attack. If you remember again, back then there was this huge thing that boycott Chinese products. Now boycotting Chinese products is simply not impossible for a country like India. It is as simple as that, because any technology we take now, even for that matter, the simplest example is this class right now. If we would have completely banned Chinese products, means this class right now would have become next to impossible. Because be it this touch screen, be it the monitor in front of me, or be it the screen here in front of me, whatever you talk about, there is one or the other Chinese product present in it, either implicitly or explicitly. Even when we talk about an Apple iPhone also, what about Apple product, etc.? Apple's headphones as well as its charger are all outsourced from China. So it is practically impossible. Back then, the maximum damage what we were able to inflict was regard to banning TikTok. Other than that, we were not able to do anything. There was a momentary decline even in the sales of the automobile company, that is MG Hector, Morrison Garage Hector. Many people even to date, they don't know that Morrison Garage, when you talk about, they actually think, oh, it's a British company. The British company was long time ago, I think at least 8 or even more years before that, was actually purchased by a Chinese company based out of Shanghai. They have retained the brand name, the image, the logo, everything. They have not brought any changes to it. Still, it is being, like, many people don't know that. They think it is a British vehicle, but it is not. It is entirely a Chinese manufactured car it is. People who are aware of it, they actually decided to cancel their bookings. So one of my friend was there who wanted to take MG Hector, but then he decided to cancel it and he went for Tata Harrier. Back then I am talking about 2020. That was the scene back then. Now what has happened? Because of US behavior. Now US behavior we need to understand here from the perspective of one very controversial figure in America, Epstein. Epstein is the name of a guy who was arrested for raping, molesting underage girls in his estate, in his island. He has an island where he used to keep a secretary with him who herself was molested and misused by him, and later he made this female responsible for getting girls for him. So these young girls, obviously when they're less than 18 or 17 years old, you give them some gadget, you give them some expensive gifts, they fall for this. So these girls will come for these parties thinking that, oh my god, I'm going to such a party, oh my god, I'm meeting so many celebrities. But what used to happen in that island was actually sexual violence on children. They were either sometimes drugged or they were actually given alcohol, and then they were literally passed on as a commodity amongst famous people within USA. And this included politicians, this included businessmen, this included actors, this included sports personalities, people from every walk of life. That is, if you had money and if you would have been invited to that island. Later, when this whole thing started coming out, this guy, Epstein, he was arrested and inside jail under mysterious circumstances, he passed away. Or he was killed. Or he committed suicide. We don't know. But later what happened during investigation process, the cops actually came across many compromising photos and videos of multiple like top personalities of various fields in USA. If those photos or videos, if it gets released, that will be the end. The end, why I would say, is because imagine almost all the famous people from different fields, they are getting arrested. It is going to create a huge social vacuum, and yes, if not a political vacuum, and the combined effect of it will also create an economic vacuum, which can actually bring down the US economy. So interestingly enough, when these photos were released and videos were released, one photo or video was that of Mr. J. Trump, Donald J. Trump, seen cuddling with a very small girl, kissing her, touching her inappropriately, all of that. That same girl can be seen later all tied up, like her hands are tied, her feet is tied, and there is the, she's gagged. A ribbon is tied around her face, and she's lying in a bed, partially clothed. What would have happened to that girl, whether she is still alive or not, we don't know. Because these photos, mind you, these are all from the late 90s and early 2000s. That means whoever was that child back then, she'll be around 40 years old now. Or probably even more than that. Getting the point here. So Donald J. Trump, to escape from all of this, because obviously he got the title of pedophile. Pedophile is a guy who loves to have sex with underage girls. Basically, kids. That is the bottom line. He decided to turn the narrative. So as part of this, first thing that he did was that to release this National Security Strategy Doctrine. National Security Strategy Doctrine, it is normally a routine process to release US, what is Security Strategy Doctrine? What will be US's security strategy? In that, he had specifically mentioned that he will be focusing largely in the Western Hemisphere. He had constantly kept on talking about acquiring Greenland. He has also constantly kept on talking about changing the equation, the power equations in the Latin American countries. The latest security strategy doctrine, which came around in November-December time period, also more or less reflected the same thing. But nobody gave it any importance. But weeks later, Trump decided to walk the talk. Again, classic diversion strategy, because he did not want the people inside the country to discuss about Epstein files. So what he did, he started it off first straight away by attacking a few boats or ships of Venezuela, telling that they had drugs in it, it had cocaine in it. Later, he took it one more step forward by literally going inside Venezuela and kidnapping the Venezuelan president and his wife. Then he diverted his attention towards Greenland. Apart from this, another major issue what he always had was he couldn't win the Nobel Peace Prize. Because Obama had won it, why couldn't he get it? This was his logic. So according to him, he had stopped the war between India and Pakistan. He wanted India and Pakistan also to tell this. Because he had stopped the war between Russia and Ukraine. He stopped the problems with North Korea. He stopped the problems with this. He stopped the problems with that. He wanted the entire world to say, yes, Trump is the one who has done a great work. Trump, come on, recommend Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. But that never happened. India specifically, rhetorically, categorically made it very clear inside the parliament that we never were forced or pressurized by USA. It was a frantic call made by the DGM, the Pakistani establishment, to India, requesting to please stop with this operation immediately. We are suffering major losses here. Please stop it. Internally also we are suffering. This will lead to huge issues. That is when our authorities here made it very clear. Contact the DGMO. Director General of Military Operations in India was contacted, and that is when we stopped with Operation Sindoor temporarily. Trump wanted claim, Trump wanted credit. India never gave both. India kept playing on back foot, telling that no, this never happened. Trump didn't sit still. Trump decided to punish India for that one reason alone, because India's recommendation would have actually mattered a lot, according to Trump, for his so-called Nobel Peace Prize. If India would have said yes, Trump was responsible, things would have been different. But India did not budge. He decided to punish India with heavy tariffs imposed on goods, on Indian goods, because India was actually buying oil from Russia. But interestingly enough, India had already started reducing its dependence on Russian oil and has started diversifying. Because we always have understood one thing, that not to depend on one country alone for either your import or for your exports. So even before the tariffs were actually slapped on us, we had started bringing things down. But interestingly enough, when Trump started acting overly, especially in the month of October, etc., talking about a 500% tariff and all. India decided what? Okay, if that is the case, then we are going to increase our imports. So interestingly enough, November actually was the month where we recorded the highest ever Russian imports. Trump again got irritated. Now he wanted to take it to the next higher level possible. Constantly talking new stories, creating new things. Say for example, now even today I was watching it in the Instagram, especially if you see, or even in internet if you see, what is it? There are many memes where it is shown that Trump is sitting inside and Modi is standing outside waiting for, sir, please, sir, will you talk to me? Like those memes are there plenty. The reality was, US-India free trade agreement was about to be signed. All that the US officials demanded was one phone call from the Indian Prime Minister. That never came. Trump got irritated even more further. That is when we decided that if Trump is doing this, what is the next best option? So Trump has already created the ground level by attacking Venezuela. As I have already told you, in Venezuela, China has its investments. Chinese investments, okay, again, for China it is peanuts, but still, money is money. More than $100 million. If it suddenly goes up, vanishes, it is not good for any country. So what did China do? Sorry, India do. India decided to get closer with China. The restrictions followed a military clash in the Galvan Valley. So closer with China, what have we decided to do is, Chinese bidders were required to register with an Indian government committee. Political and security clearance were mandated for Chinese bidders. Ministry of Finance plans to remove these restrictions. That means whatever restrictions were placed after 2020 on Chinese contractors who want to take part in the competitive bidding of any government contract in India, all the restrictions were removed. Now Chinese companies will engage more actively with regard to government projects in India. This was purposefully done to irritate USA even more further. Before 2020, Chinese foreign direct investment in India was largely routed through tax havens. Tax havens simply means these are places where it is zero tax or very low tax. जैसे कि Cayman Islands, Seychelles, Panama Islands, like this multiple islands are there. From there you reroute and bring the investments into India so that you don't have to pay much tax. Correct, Khushi? Got the point here? Indirect Chinese investment flows remain difficult to quantify due to routing through third countries. See, this is the other issue. What is China doing is, China knows it very well that no country, especially a country like India, does not want to depend on China completely, because India is the only country that has been telling no to China's Belt and Road Initiative. Developing rail networks, road networks, China will invest and it will be pan-world connectivity. China will build everything. road also will be owned by China, railway network also will be owned by China. And that will be used, you can be used by that country also. India can also use it for whatever purpose. But ultimately, Chinese will have the complete authority over these road and these railway networks. So India never wanted China to make their investments here. But China is also very intelligent. China will not directly say, okay, I'm going to invest in India. China has always routed their investments through other areas, through other countries basically, making it very impossible to track these investments. For example, now many months ago, if you remember it, there was an issue surrounding Adani's investments. Certain investments that have come into Adani's shares. What is the source of these investments? Where did they come from? Who has invested so much in these companies? There is no clue. SEBI, that is the Securities and Exchange Board of India, who is supposed to be the market regulator for share market in our country, they unashamedly went and admitted in the Supreme Court that we are not able to find out who invested. Can you believe that? So in other words, it simply means, indirectly at least, we are having Chinese investments in the country. Got the point here? This is what has been happening. Yeah, Mauritius is also a thing. Now, taking it further forward. Chinese contract losses in India, the losses for China is approximately anywhere between 700 to 750 billion US dollars. Around this much money, losses there. Chinese FDI in India, if you see, it is less than 1% of total inflows. That also, that restriction was there. We will not entertain it much. But we will have to wait and see amidst the latest geopolitical scenario whether we are going to allow more of Chinese FDI or not. We will have to wait and watch. Taking it further forward. In April 2020, India issued Press Note 3 regulating investments from countries sharing land borders with India. What is Press Note 3? Press Note 3 mandates prior government approval where investments originate from such countries or where beneficial ownership lies there. That is, with whichever countries India shares its ownership with, we are not going to give it easily approval for investing in India. Which are those countries? The countries which share a border with India. So we are talking about Pakistan. We are talking obviously about China, Nepal, Bhutan, round and come, Bangladesh, Myanmar. The reason it is because the fear or largely the threat of economic terrorism. I can always say I'm going to make this much investment, that much investment, then I can pull it off. Suddenly, if I pull out huge amounts of investments, the share market will get affected, stock market will get affected. Automatically, what will happen is it can literally lead to what? Domestic growth and India's credibility as an international player. So I need not actually burst bombs or I need not actually use AK-47 rifles. I can easily destroy India with the promise of investment and later pull it off. Got the point here? Press Note 3 significantly reduced indirect Chinese investments into India. China's cumulative FDI stock increased in most major destination countries globally. Like I told you, for China, it is nothing. If India is not there, even though India is one of the most populous countries in the world, for China, they have the rest of the world to play with. India taking a lesson from that, India also decided, why should we only trust USA? Because US is India's largest export market. If USA stops buying from us, it can really affect our export sector. So India started thinking the Chinese way, which is what? Let us try to look beyond USA. Let us try to engage in trade relations with rest of the world. China's cumulative foreign direct investment stock in India declined over the past decade. India's ranking as a destination for Chinese FDI stock fell by 19 positions between 2014 and 2024. Now, like I told you, India is not at all a player for China. For China, India is not at all important, to be very honest, from an economic perspective. It is almost like your neighbor is not buying from you, but the rest of the world is buying it from you. So why will I care? Got the point here? Clear? So this is the point. Any doubts so far? Correct. Ankit Kumar. Moving on. Global supply chains and trade shifts. The Economic Survey 23-24 stated that higher Chinese FDI could improve India's participation in global supply chains. Survey noted a shift by US and Europe away from direct sourcing from China. Higher tariffs contributed to the decline. This is the answer. I think Gunjan had asked it. The Economic Survey 23-24 stated that higher Chinese FDI could improve India's participation in global supply chains. What do you mean by that? If India actually needs to be a world leader in anything, in any economic sector you're talking about, let us say industries, manufacturing, mining, whatever it is, India needs the help of the Chinese. That is why there was an article in the Hindu telling that if India needs to overtake China, India needs the help of China. Everything, anything you talk about, because the fact of the matter here is when China was actually busy in investing in infrastructure in the 90s, throughout the 90s, and backing the PSUs, giving them freedom to research, to explore, we never bothered. Research and development expenditure in India is less than 1% of the GDP. China's it is around 2.5 to, no, I think 3 to 4%. It's somewhere around 3 to 4% of the GDP, of Chinese GDP. That means they spend in billions. So China has been getting the benefit of it. Next step is what? China, yes, labor is cheap. Compared to Chinese labor, when you look at Indian labor, it is slightly expensive because we have better laws here. Obviously, it's a democracy. Trade unionism is strong here. Whereas in China, you don't have any such thing. So I think I have shared this very, very early, very long time ago. When I was working as a marine engineer, we were in a Chinese port actually. So one of the, not from our ship, another ship, the cargo container's door was not locked properly. Apparently, when the crane was lifting it, it opened. 2 bags fell from it. I'm not sure what bag it was. Maybe wheat, grain, whatever, I don't know. But 2 bags came falling. So obviously, when this opens, etc., it is happening at a height. It is not how they show it in the movies. A heavy noise or something is there at so many, like, feet above the ground. It is there. It may not come to you. And you may not even understand from where it is coming. So those 2 bags fell. One bag fell straight down where a worker was standing. A Chinese worker was standing. Port worker. He was wearing a helmet and boots and everything. Just fell on his head. No blood, nothing. But on spot, he was dead. Obviously, neck would have broke. What did they do? They just picked him up, kept him on the side. Just like on the side, they kept him. They continued with their work. I'm not joking. They continued with their work. It was like, oh, he's dead. Okay. Pushed him away. Why pushed him away? Because they need to work there. His dead body was becoming a hindrance. They continued working. Probably after half an hour or 45 minutes or so, an ambulance came. So I was not understanding whether, so obviously when I am standing and observing this, even I was not understanding whether what has happened. Is he dead, alive? What is it? I mean, they are not even reacting. What has happened? But when an ambulance came and took him away, that is when later we got to know he was dead at that point only. In other words, China actually doesn't value human life much. And because it is a single party government there is no opposition. You cannot criticize the government. You are completely monitored. Whatever the government says, you have to do. So China had the twin advantage. What is the twin advantage? Yes, research and development. So obviously, their technology is good. They have invested very good in infrastructure. So that made their manufacturing sector also very, very good. Their industrial base also improved. Plus, China had the advantage that the labor wages were low. Imagine you are having high level of technology, and on another side your labor rates are also poor. Technology will make your product cheaper. Low labor also will make your product cheaper. The combined effect of it was what? Mass production. Mass production of any good that you can think of at a very low rate. A very, very low rate. Got the point here? A very low rate. So that price, no country could compete. Even when we talk about Europe, Japan, etc. So Japan also was good in technology. But what was Japan's problem there? Japan did not have people. Japan's population decline had started as early as in 2000. So Japan did not have a young labor force. Even if today if you go, why is it that most Indians are shifting towards Japan? Because it is easy to survive there. Houses are lying empty. Houses are lying totally empty. Because the last person also died. So the populous countries, they are actually wanting people to come there and settle there now. Because there are no people there. This is what is happening. Competition of manufacturing is there? As in competition. Competition you're asking. See, definitely competition is there between public player and private player. But whatever public or private player you're talking about, ultimately you have to abide by the CPC, the Communist Party of China. Communist Party of China will tell, everybody will listen. Whether you're private, whether you're public, it doesn't matter. How labor wages are low in such a country? Because population is very high. Whatever development you're talking about, of Chinese development that you're talking about, if this is a rough map of China, it is largely concentrated in the southeast areas. Shanghai, Beijing, that entire gamut of countries, whatever you're places that you're talking, that is largely in Southeast Asia, Southeast China. The rest of the country, if you actually see, it's very underdeveloped. There are places in China which have still retained their natural beauty. For example, there is this Tamil movie called I, Vikram's movie. There is a song in it. Pookalai Satru Noi Vidangal. It's a Tamil movie. If you watch that song, you will not see that location. Probably you will not see that location in any other movie. That entire location of that song has been shot in China. Nobody will believe it, because if you actually look at it, it is full of natural beauty. Full of natural beauty. It's filled with raw nature's beauty. So beautiful. Beautifully captured. But that is from China. People will still think, okay, maybe it is from Europe, or maybe it is from Scandinavian countries like Switzerland, Sweden, Denmark, Finland. No. So China has this paradox. On one side, full on development. On another side, impoverishment. Got the logic here? This is the logic. Clear? Why can't Japan hire from India? It is not that Japanese don't want to hire from India. But again, the thing is, they are worried about their culture. They are highly protective about their culture. They don't want to do anything where their culture is affected. Getting the point here? Correct? So whatever higher tariffs were there, survey noted shift by US and Europe. US and Europe started to shift away from China, especially after 2020. Because the public known secret is that COVID virus was actually from China. The fear of China was so immense that other than Trump, nobody called it China virus or Xinjiang virus. Generally, if you look at it, the naming of a virus is done based on the country of origin or a river associated with it. Ebola, Nipah. All these names, if you actually notice, they are all associated with the country or region from where it originated. By that logic, COVID virus should have actually been called Xinjiang virus. But China would tolerate no such insult. The Chinese presence was so strong to the point where internationally the presence was so strong to the point where China was able to intimidate even the World Health Organization. Even though US, Donald Trump tried to put immense pressure calling it China virus, World Health Organization did not budge. And that was the first issue what he had with World Health Organization. How dare you not listen to me when I am the one to fund you? So if you notice again, he withdrew from WHO. Got the logic here? Yeah, Wuhan lab, Wuhan virus, correct. Clear? Moving on. US and EU trade with China ever since that has been on the decline. US smartphone imports from China were around 60% in 2016, which came down to 22%. Whenever USA have had a rift with China or European Union have had a rift with China, it was always good news for India. India always used to sit and smile. Because if USA and Europe reduced their imports from China, means automatically they will increase their purchasing from India and other Southeast Asian nations. This used to continue. So for India, it was a win-win situation. So win-win situation for which all countries? Basically the ASEAN nations, the Southeast Asian nations, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Brunei, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Timor-Leste, Philippines. This entire region were getting the benefit of anti-China feelings. They were all happy. India was also happy. Taking it further forward, Vietnam, Thailand and India increased their shares in US smartphone imports. Replication of the smartphone manufacturing shift in other sectors remains limited without Chinese participation. What does this mean? So in other sectors, can this be replicated? Means from China, USA and Europe started reducing the import. Instead, where are they increase? They are importing it more from Vietnam, Thailand, India. But to replicate this in other sectors, you need Chinese support. For example, take our health sector itself. Indian medical industry, if you see, yes, it is expensive for most of us when we visit the hospital or when we go to a hospital, be it public or private, it is very expensive for us. But for the outside world, Indian medical sector is very cheap and very affordable. Especially the pharmaceutical industry. For the pharmaceutical industry also, if India needs to be number one in the world leader for affordable medicines, the raw material for this manufacturing of pharmaceuticals, that is API, active pharmaceutical ingredients, that comes from where? That comes from China. India does not have an active manufacturing of this API here. We only have very limited quantities here. Majority of the raw material that you require for manufacturing the pharmaceutical, the medicines basically, that comes from China. Got the point here? China absorbed tariff-related pressures in 2025. China strengthened its manufacturing sector and global supply chain position. So for China, it did not matter. Somebody went and asked, what about the tariff of China? What about the tariff on USA, etc.? One of the Chinese leaders told, it doesn't matter to us. Our culture is here for more than 2000 years. Our culture is here. We are a 4,000-year-old civilization. Chinese diplomat is answering. We are a 4,000-year-old civilization. We know how to deal with it. So China, it did not impact them by even an inch. Instead, what they started focusing on, manufacturing, supply, etc. And another thing what they did, imposed restrictions on rare earth exports. Because everybody was shifting towards electric vehicle. Getting the point here? Everybody was shifting towards electric vehicle. And for electric vehicle, what do you need? You need batteries. Or you need semiconductors. For artificial intelligence also you need semiconductors. Rare earth elements, China was not having a monopoly as such. But like I told you in my earlier classes, to extract the raw material, you need special machinery. And China has access to it. Why China has access to it? As usual, the same answer. China has been investing in research and development from a very long time. They have been experimenting with the machines. For example, if you watch any video of a manufacturer, how Chinese build bridges, that is, flyovers are built overnight. Overnight they come, they erect pillars. Already pre-fabricated pillars are brought. They are erected one by one using crane. On top of it, they come and lay the flyover. They connect it. They go. By morning when you wake up, flyover is ready. If you actually look at some of the machines that Chinese are using, you will be really wondering from where are these machines? From which part of the world do we get it? You will only find it in China. You won't even find it in Germany. You won't even probably find it in Japan. So China decided one thing, rare earth elements, let it be. Whoever wants, let them do whatever they want. But machinery, that we are not going to sell. That we are not even going to give. China placed these restrictions not just on its government companies, but also on its private players. That these machines, you are not going to sell it outside. You can sell it inside the country, not outside. Clear? Rare earth export controls increase China's leverage in global trade disputes. And this is the turning point. This has irritated Trump even further. So he wanted two things finally now. He wants oil to ensure that the inflation in USA comes down. Number two, what he needs, he wants control over rare earth elements. And that is where Greenland comes into picture. And because China has already kept rare earth element extraction machinery with it, complete control China has it, Trump continues to say that if I don't take over Greenland, Russia or China will take over. Chances that Russia may come all the way to Greenland and take over Greenland is very less. But a Chinese presence in Greenland, is it possible? Well, at least indirectly it is possible. China can come there, invest in different projects, throw money at them, and then get access to the rare earth elements. It's very much possible. Got the logic here? Lacking rare earth elements is not only the reason. See, research and development we are lacking in largely because we never focused on it. We never updated our syllabus. That is the main thing. Then since 1980, our education system has been lying rotten. We never bothered to upgrade the syllabus. We never bothered to upgrade it or connect it with what? Connect it with the ongoing market demand. So we were left there as it is. 90s and early 2000s, we were selling the Indian growth story. What were we proudly selling? That yes, Indians are working as employees in Google, Microsoft, Apple, or in all the major IT service or banking, foreign banking companies. That we were telling proudly. People will complete their engineering, IIT, or they will do an MBA. They will never end up becoming entrepreneurs. They all ended up becoming employees, getting rich packages from, as per Indian standards, getting very rich packages. And these people obviously will finally settle where? They'll settle abroad. They won't even come back to India. We sentimentally called it brain drain. When in fact in India, you don't have a scope for the profession or for the level of skills what you have. You don't have a scope for it in India. Because in India, those skills are still unheard of. Got the point here? This is the logic. Ask your doubt. Any questions, people? Agreed. Prashant. LPG was introduced in India only in 1991, whereas in China it had started since 1971. Even by a humble estimate, if you see, China is at least 20 years ahead of us. Be it in terms of technology, be it in terms of R&D, be it in terms of investments, be it in terms of infrastructure. It will take time, Praveen people. It is not like it'll happen overnight. Skilled workers, when you say right now the demand in the market is for artificial intelligence. And for artificial intelligence, what you need is semiconductor chips. Semiconductor chips fabrication, it is called. Fabrication units to manufacture a semiconductor chip. So the idea is the thinner and smaller your semiconductor chip is, more is its processing capacity and higher is the price. And as you keep making it smaller and smaller, the prices only will go on increasing. For example, for the latest level of chip manufacturing, chip fabrication, the machinery that is used for it, which is produced by Denmark, Netherlands, who is the world leader in it, that's priced at $100 million. $100 million for one machine for chip fabrication. All right, taking it further forward. Now taking it further forward, United States strategic doctrine and hemispheric action. US asserts exclusive security responsibility over the Western Hemisphere. That is, they say we are only we can give security in the Western region. United States National Security Strategy, released in November 2025, stated an intention to reassert dominance in the Western Hemisphere. That is the Monroe Doctrine. Monroe Doctrine is an old doctrine given by one of the former presidents of USA, which is to assert their influence in the Western Hemisphere. Now it has underwent a Namkaran change, that is a change in the terminology, which is Monroe Doctrine, that is D for Donald. Why is not India investing in R&D and patent? Because we vote on the basis of caste and religion. That is the only answer to it. We don't give votes on the basis of what? We don't give votes on the basis of a person's qualification. In Europe or in USA, who is that individual? What is that individual? What is that individual's background story? All that is looked into before actually casting the vote. Here in India, we cast it on the basis of what? Religion and caste. That is the reason why ex-IPS officers, ex-IAS officers, if you notice, when they stand as independent candidates, they never win the election. Only when they start playing the whole religion card, caste card, and they join a major political party, only then they have a remote chance of winning. Otherwise, they don't win. That's the bottom line. We ourselves have to be blamed here. All right. Freebies also, exactly. See, that is the point. Freebies, that is the exact point here. Because when you vote on the basis of caste and religion, ultimately the MPs or the MLAs also know that, okay, if I just give some freebies, this is free, that is free. I put up a canteen and say that, see, food is available for free. People will be satisfied with it. People will be actually satisfied, because as a society, if you see, we are still a collectivist society that lives and dies only for one thing: marriage. If you ask any human being out there, what is the ultimate purpose of life? It is marriage. Whereas in the Western world, if you largely see, or even for that matter in China these days, if you see, it is no more marriage. It is about being and excelling in the field of your choice. That is what it is. Who has that education in politics? As in, not 8 crore Tani, it is 81 crore. Not 8 crore. It's 81 crore. Correct? So that is the point here. So we have IPLs occasionally. We have cricket matches occasionally. If you notice, whenever there is trouble, some trouble is brewing, immediately an IPL season will come or a cricket match season will come. Now everybody are like, see, we have cut off Bangladesh, Pakistan, we have cut them also. So see, India's dominance, etc. We can see the memes that is coming up. Ultimately, what is the purpose here? If BCCI was actually investing even 1 rupee towards the common man's, life improvement, then we could have understood that. Even if 1 rupee they were investing. But the fact of the matter is, with more than 45,000 crore that they are, with annual income that they have, they don't even pay 1 rupee tax. They don't pay 1 rupee tax because they are apparently a charitable organization. What is the charity that they are doing? I have no idea. You won't believe the numbers if I start telling you the numbers. That is, if you just come and do a commentary, you're paid in crores. You're paid in crores and in lakhs. Not 6 digits, 7 digits I'm talking about. 7 digits per match. The revenue that flows into this, it's humongous. Getting the point here? It has nothing to do with educated politicians or non-educated politicians. It is about on what basis are you placing a caste. So somebody is there who has multiple rape cases against him, who has huge corruption ghotalas against him, but still people will vote for that individual. Why? वो हमरा जात का है. Yeah, he is our caste. Namma kachi avaru, namma jadi avaru. That is there everywhere. North to south, east to west, it is there. Look at the political analysis that was published by a newspaper, a national newspaper like Hindu, for the what a stunning victory that NDA was able to achieve in Bihar. When they did the political analysis, so I thought, okay, what will be the analysis about? It was all based on caste and religion. The Yadav vote, the Brahmin vote, that vote, this caste vote, so this caste vote went here, so that religion people went to there. I was like, what the hell is this? What sort of an article is this? Because it is all about caste and religion in the Hindu newspaper. They've literally, one big article. Whether they have written it for the readers to understand or whether they have written it for the opposition. See, learn something from them. This is how they manage to win the votes. Why don't you people also try it? So that's the reality in our country. Getting the point here. This is the idea. So don't forget. And ultimately, let me tell you, how many of you can actually go and marry somebody from another caste out there? How many of you? Don't even bother to answer. Getting the point here. If you try that stunt, trust me, you will become fertilizer for your father's agricultural field. So when we ourselves judge a person on the basis of caste and religion, we are choosing our partner on the basis of caste or religion means, don't expect any major changes in the Indian society, at least for the next 50 years. Got the picture here? So that is the point. Ambu Jamit Yashasvi Verma. I can see many people telling, yeah, I can do it. I don't know. You are telling it so openly. I hope that your relatives or your parents are not watching the class. So that is the reality. Caste, intercaste or interreligion marriage, your parents will allow. You know when? If you stay unmarried up till 30. Then they will be like, marry somebody. It is okay. Even if it is not from same caste, same religion, even if it is from same gender also, we are okay with it. I know I'm stretching it a little further, but that is the reality. I've seen that happening with my friends' families, where the parents will slowly bring down all the criteria. Girls especially have a lot of demands, right? Guy should be tall, should have hair, flat stomach, slim body, fit and looking very young, shouldn't drink, shouldn't smoke, should have 6-digit this, that, blah, blah, humor sense, all of that. By the time they cross 30, it will be like, just they need a guy. Boys, also the same thing. But boys, as far as I have seen it is for them, it is only about marrying somebody. They just want to get married. Most of the Indian boys, their ultimate dream is getting married. Bhumi, it was a dark joke. Just ignore it. Bhumi is like, gender? वो कैसे होगा sir? Same gender marriage? वो तो पाप है ना? That is the point. My army brother did. Very good. Abhijit, that and all is not going to work. Trying to teach your family at this juncture, don't worry. Parents, both your father and mother will start fighting to decide who will murder you first. Don't even bother. The strategy sought to prevent non-hemispheric powers from deploying forces or threatening assets in the region. This is the main point here. So the national security strategy's main purpose is what? Main purpose is if you're not from that region, we won't allow you to exert your dominance here. Got the point? We won't allow your dominance here. That is the logic. So that simply meant no China, no Russia. And it also gave implicit warnings against Cuba, Colombia and Mexico. 3 countries again which are mostly anti-USA and which creates small law and order problems for India in terms of drug trafficking. Clear? See, you won't have a problem. You have a problem is not the point here. The point here is we as a nation, if you see, we are a collectivist society. Getting the point here. Now, again, cross-connecting it with society now. Why is it that India is the country where after an exam, people commit suicide? Let it be 10th, let it be 12th, let it be NEET, let it be IIT, UPSC, CLAT, CAT. Take any exam, name any exam out there. You will find after the results are out, there will be minimum one suicide in the country. Why? Char log kya kahenge? That is the point. You go to USA or Europe, hey man, what happened to your exam, man? Tough luck, dude. I couldn't crack it this time. Oh, that's bad. Hey, chill, man. You can always do it next year. Yeah, come, let's go have a beer. That's it. Or you go tell your parents, mom, I couldn't crack it. Oh, my poor child, come here. Oh, it's all right. Why are you worried? Come, let's go out. Let's call your father and have a chat. Come, let's sit down. Are you all right, my child? Shall I fix a cup of tea for you? This is the reaction there. Try telling it your home. Last year when the prelims was over, there were multiple students who had contacted me where they were telling that, sir, I don't know how to present this matter at home. I was like, what matter? Sir, I won't clear prelims. I was like, just go tell them na. No, sir, I'm too scared to do it. Look at the scenarios here. Because a child's failure is seen by the parents as their failure. And Indian parents, let me tell you, they don't know how to deal with failure. That is the reality. Indian parents don't know that. We will deal with it. We will be like, okay, once more, we will have to go and do it. We will be still fine. But after you go and tell it to your parents will actually start behaving. That is especially for boys, especially. Girls, I am not telling that it is easy for you. Your wedding will get fixed. Which again, I'm not telling it is easy. But for boys, especially when I have went and said this, the reaction what I have got, I almost used to feel, my parents' reaction used to be something like, maybe I have become pregnant before marriage. Yeah, I have become pregnant. I used to get that same vibes, that what you used to see in the movies, oh my god, my girl is spoiled, some guy spoiled my daughter. Like that level reaction or drama you will get. It is the fear of the drama that people commit suicide in our country. They are ready to deal with the failure, but they are not ready to deal with the drama there. Got the point? That is what happens in our country. I absolutely agree with you, Shweta. Got the picture here? So it is never going to be easy. Coming back now. In early 2026, US conducted an airborne military operation in Venezuela. Operation involved detention and transfer of Venezuelan head of state and spouse to US. The action was justified on national security grounds. The operation was described as an updated application of the Monroe Doctrine. Global protests were very, very limited. Got the point here? Now this event, as well as with Operation Sindoor that had taken place, one thing is pretty much becoming very, very clear these days. That is, for local level aggressions which are very limited to at a local level, where multiple players are not involved, where it's like a standalone event, you don't expect any international pressure then. In the case of Gaza, that is Israel, Palestine, etc., the problem is surrounding it. You have Iran, Qatar, Saudi, UAE, Muscat, Oman, Egypt, everybody, that entire area which is there with oil, everybody wants. So their international pressure attention is very, very high. Got the point here? Russia, Ukraine, yes, because if Russia takes over Ukraine, entire Europe will be swallowed by Russia, is what the narrative is. So that also matters. But local level disputes, to what extent it will actually trigger a global world war, from these two incidents I will tell you, it is not going to trigger. Even if tomorrow China takes over Taiwan, I am expecting zero repercussion. Zero repercussion is going to happen. Clear here? Moving on, Greenland, historical background and renewed claims. In 1946, US offered Denmark 100 million United States dollars, US dollars, in gold to purchase Greenland. Denmark rejected the offer. Greenland is an autonomous Arctic territory administered by Denmark. Autonomous means they largely follow their own customs and traditions. But when it comes to security, providing them with a structure, etc., Denmark gives them the help. Greenland is covered by NATO security obligations through Denmark. US strategic documents reference Greenland as a security interest. US renewed efforts to acquire Greenland, citing national security. That means Denmark comes under NATO. Greenland comes under Denmark. So ideally, USA is supposed to be protecting Greenland, not attacking it. If India capture Bangladesh, then India capturing Bangladesh will unnecessarily create trouble only for India. What will we do by capturing it? Ulta, what India should do is cut off a portion of Bangladesh and push these buggers a little more further so that we can expand the northeast and increase the security strategy there. That we can do. Clear? Because there is nothing that Bangladesh has to offer which the world needs. That is the point. Clear? Nothing is forever. Everything is temporary. Greenland, tariffs, coercion and retaliation. US threatened a 10% tariff on 8 European countries opposing the Greenland proposal. So this is a basic brief structure. Greenland, the world's largest island, is an autonomous territory of Denmark. It spans an area roughly 3 times the size of US state of Texas and has a population of 56,000, primarily Greenlandic Inuit. A calm and a very peaceful country, to be very, very honest. I think one movie was there which had actually shot over there. Pristine locations. And to the point where, so for example, in my own community, cycles are stolen. Kids' cycles are stolen. Any cycle you leave outside for too long, it gets stolen. In Greenland, etc., the thing is, kids will ride their cycle, and if they find something very interesting, they'll just leave the cycle. They will go behind it. Then they'll go home. Next day, you come back to that same point there, that cycle will be still lying there. Nobody is going to touch it. Nobody is going to take it away. So it's a very calm, beautiful place, very good people, calm people it is. Getting the point here. Why not China restrict Donald Trump's activities? Why should China do it? See, we should learn from China. Interfere only where it is necessary. Why should unnecessarily China interfere? And China has its eyes on Taiwan. If US and every other country starts focusing on, oh my God, Greenland, China will simply go and grab Taiwan and say, I took away Taiwan. Now Taiwan is with me. China wants Taiwan. As far as I know the reason for it now. Taiwan is the only other player out there in the eastern side which is capable of actually providing semiconductor chips and technology again. You take out that, game over. And automatically now it will automatically make Japan also very, very wary, scared of China. Once Taiwan goes out, it will put a huge psychological pressure on Japanese people and the Japanese administration there. That is what will happen. What is Greenland offering to the world that may hamper international relations? As in Jayanta Kumar. Greenland offering to the world. Greenland has got nothing to offer here. Greenland has nothing to offer other than the fact that yes, it is rich in %80 are covered by ice caps and glaciers. Alright. So any extraction or whatever you want to do, it would only mean what? Melting of ice and glaciers. If you remember a few months back, this idiot again, Mr. Trump, he was telling that climate change is a farce. Climate change is the biggest scam. Global warming is the biggest scam. If global warming is true, how is that we are feeling more cold? Why is that we are feeling more cold then? If global warming is happening, we shouldn't be feeling cold anymore. We should be feeling hot. Idiot doesn't know the fact that global warming does not mean that the entire world is sitting inside a pressure cooker or in a frying pan. What it means is the average global temperature is on the rise. As a result of which, climatology is changing. So why did he say that? Why did he actually pull off from all the famous agreements? Because his ultimate goal is this. He is ready to melt any amount of ice caps, any amount of glaciers to grab rare earth elements. That's the logic. Pressure on Japan means if I have taken over Taiwan, I can put pressure on Japan now. You better listen to me. If I can grab this, I can grab you also. That is the same. That is the funda there. He is big time fan of islands. True. One by one. See, others, we don't have a direct threat from Bangladesh as of now. So it is not necessary that India should actually use a hammer. See, there is a thing, a famous Malayalam movie dialogue again. Every enemy deserves a way of elimination. That is, you cannot use an AK-47 rifle on a rat. Correct. The lice that is there on the head, you don't, you crush it between the nails. You don't take a hammer and try to hit it. That you won't do. So for Bangladesh, it is like in test doses only we need to play with them. Test doses. We need not go do the full attack on them. Because as it is, they are surrounded by us. They are completely surrounded by us. So we can play with them before we crush them. See, USA not interested in Taiwan means USA was showing interest in Taiwan. I'm not telling USA does not have an interest. But the fact of the matter is USA does not have anything major to lose if Taiwan goes out of their hand. There's the same logic. Just because Venezuela is taken over by USA, it is not that China will lose sleep. That is the point here. Clear? Moving further forward, the countries were Denmark, Norway, Sweden, UK, France, Germany, Netherlands and Finland. Please mark these countries. I just finished explaining it. Sheikh Munira Banu. The reason was rare earth elements, or reason is rare earth elements. Nothing else other than that. ICC, that is the point. We are taking pride in, yes, we banned Bangladesh from Cricket World Cup. So what? So what? How does that even matter? See, you banning a country from Cricket World Cup is not going to affect them even by an iota, even by an inch. You should hit them where it hurts. Pet par laat marna hai. On the stomach, poverty, hunger. That is the way you change the administration. You keep a people hungry. You keep a people denied of opportunities. That is where what will happen? You can create trouble in a country. What is it? You basically telling them, okay, don't come, and it is almost like gully cricket is going on. You tell one fellow, hello, you don't play with us. We have done that when we were young. You call too much of bad words. I told my mummy also, you don't come and play with us. We all decided, you don't play. What has happened? Did that person change? Absolutely not. Getting the point here. So all these are just cosmetic measures where we take pride in, we told in Bangladesh and Pakistan not to come in IPL, not to play in. Are you serious? Is this the way we are going to deal with diplomatic relations or international relations? Denying people not to play cricket, don't act in my movies, don't sing in my movies. How is it even going to affect, even going to create an impact or pressure on the politicians sitting in Bangladesh? Got the point? It is only going to earn us some brownie points here. Fake patriotism. In Bangladesh also what is happening right now? Their social media is also very active. See, we are able to bring down the mighty, BCCI, and we were never we bent in front of them. Now that is being hailed as a big victory there, a moral victory there. What good did it do for us? Nothing. Got the point here. Tariff was proposed to rise to 25% by June 1 if no agreement was reached. The European Union considered retaliatory tariffs worth 93 billion euros. Interestingly enough, UK is not actually a part of European Union. UK is not a part of I mean, European Union. Okay, I'll come to that nonsense now. Yet now everybody are united against Trump. Everybody are united. And what did they do? They decided basically, let us do one thing. Let us impose a retaliatory tariff. If this fellow raises it, we will also bring it to 93 billion euros. How much damage we are having? That much of damage we will inflict on USA. European Union consider deploying, and this comes under what? This comes under the anti-coercion instrument. What is this anti-coercion instrument? Anti-coercion instrument simply means you cannot force me to do something by using tariff. Got the point? You cannot force me to do something by telling that I will impose tariff on you. So for that, what I will do, if you put tariff on me and I am going to face 100 rupees loss, I will put a 100 rupees tariff on you in return, in retaliation. So how much ever tariff you place, what is my loss, I will check. That much amount I will place as tariff on you back. So basically Trump cooled a little because now he has decided he will not go for this full-fledged tariff war with European Union. He decided he won't go for it. Many people think it is because of this counter tariff threat what European Union said. No. There is another big Brahmastra, Vajrastra, whatever astra you want to call it, the mother of all weapons that is there with European Union as well as with China. What is that? US bonds. USA as a country, if you see, it is in huge debt. To what level? Approximately, not 40, a little less than that. $40 trillion in debt. In other words, their expenditure is much higher than their income. Obviously, right, sending your troops to foreign countries, paying for your soldiers, paying for the weapons, that is expense. On top of it, you are not having any manufacturing as such inside your country. You are an import surplus nation. You import more than what you export. So obviously your expenditure is going to be high. So how have they been able to manage the economy then? They keep issuing US bonds. This is sold. That is Trump, by the way. Bonds are issued, and these bonds are actually bought by European Union, China, India, plus other countries. Why? Because US bonds are a good investment option. It will give you return. It will give you return. Every month you will get payment in dollars. So, bonds are bought by these countries, and they give them what? To USA? Dollars. These dollars are used to fund the expenditure. That expenditure. This is how the economy works. Got the point? Maga, not Maga. I'll rather write his original name. All right. This is how the economy runs in USA. Whenever I'm in need of money, I will just give these bonds. We'll come to that. They'll issue these bonds. These countries will make the payment in dollar. That dollars will go into the economy. So who is owning these? European Union is having it. China is having it. Got the point? Now, I'm having the bonds. Let us say these bonds worth $20 trillion. Just 20 trillion. European Union and China, they decide to dump it. What is dumping? Dumping means I'm purposefully throwing it. Arey, who wants this? You want US bond? Just give me $2, enough. Imagine 20 trillion worth dollar is sold for maybe $200,000. 200,000 it is sold. What will happen to the dollar value now? What was worth 20 trillion, now suddenly it is only 200,000. What will happen to dollar value? Constant revision, Samir. No, Jayashri, because the fact of the matter is people trust the dollar more. When it comes to an investment option, people trust the dollar more. If you ask me in India, right now, if I ask you, if I give you 1,000 rupees, or if I offer you $1,000, $100, 1,000 rupees, which one will you take? You will obviously go for $100. Correct? Because dollars, we know tomorrow it will appreciate. Exactly. Muttumageshwaran, Adarsh, Bhumi, Sangatam, Sangamitran, Tamil Sangamitran. Oh my lord, what a name. Praveen B. Pillai, Ankita Gumari, Gauri, Archana, Joya, Suman, Rakshita, Gunjan. Very good. Dollar will drop down. Will go crashing. That means whoever has invested gone. Your money is gone. Not recession, not depression. It will be the mother of crashes. Mother of crashes. Got the logic here? There is one more reason why people are increasingly switching to investments in gold. Got the point? Not trusting the dollar at all. This is another reason why they are actually even exploring alternate currencies. Especially in this regard is the Chinese yuan or renminbi. Masala bond is different. Masala bond is exclusively Indian bond issued in rupee denomination. This is US treasury bonds issued in dollar. Lightning Faro Gaming 7277. Can you repeat about the topic? My dear brother, 1 hour 44 minutes. Again, I cannot go back. please rewind and watch again. That is what I would tell you. Because this is not a one-to-one class. There are many students, online, offline, everything. Shweta, that is what I told you. The point here is that the trust on the US dollar. That is the main reason. So when you trust a currency a lot, what happens? Investments people will make in it. That is the reason why this dollar demand has always remained very high. Got the logic here? It is only in this last few years that this change has started. And that is also the reason why people are switching towards other alternatives, which is again angering the pedophile of USA. Got the point here? Because he is like, how can they switch to other currencies? Because even if you switch to other currencies, again what will happen? Demand for this treasury bonds will come down. Automatically the next question, then how will US run the country? How will USA run it? This is in fact the other reason why USA is pulling off from all the international agreements and treaties. Because USA is like, why should I spend so much of money like this when I'm not having the money? Because see, it is a cycle. So back then in the good old times, gold was a standard for international payments and settlements. Then it was pound. Then it became dollar. So like that, it will move on to the next currency now. So USA is also aware. So USA is also trying to cut down on what? Cut down on their expenditures. But they cannot tell it openly. So indirectly what? Trump is also trying to reduce the exposure. Exposure of US dollar unnecessarily to all other fields. Getting the point here? Possibility is there. Sorry, brother. We are living in a democracy. EU is the largest trade partner of the USA. US is the largest export destination of European Union. I told you, US is the biggest market for almost all the major countries of the world. China is the largest source of EU import. So that is the beauty here. So look at it. You have USA. USA issues treasury bonds. Purchased by EU, China, India. Okay. What do? They give the much needed dollars to USA. What does USA do with that dollar? That dollars are paid back to these countries. How? Export payments. Got the point here? This is the cycle. Uninterrupted. But if Sara had par kar di, if all the limits are crossed, even if a 10% or 20% dumping of US treasury bonds will actually lead to what? Will actually lead to a crash in the dollar. Slight dip is good for India, because if dollar depreciates, as I've told it many a times, Indian currency will slowly start rising up. It is good for us. Got the point here? Why world can't make a currency to all ROM world organization? Because every country should agree to it. Number one. A country's economic policy has got everything to do with the politics of the country, and the politics in each country is different. So it is very difficult for all the countries to come together and agree on an international currency. It's very difficult. World power, see, that is a moniker which USA had gained through the 90s, and that is why it has come up. See, they tell dumping has not happened. But some sources, what I referred in the medias, etc., there is a slight dumping has happened apparently, which was the major reason why Trump decided to push back. In fact, the funny part you won't believe, China actually owns, in terms through these bonds, China actually owns got the point here. Oh. You were there last week also, right? You think you will throw religion at me and Arey. This is exactly Dhruv, you are everything that this country is wrong with. You are the personification of that. Yeah. China is the largest source of EU imports. So from China is where they are buying stuff from largely. No surprises there. If you actually look at it, this is all the more reason why now EU will get close to China. EU is already getting close to India. China and India are also getting close with each other. They are like border, we will decide later. Right now, let us deal with this pedo. Europe accounts for more than 50% of FDI into the USA. Europe is the largest recipient of US FDI. This is the point. So what? So both are mutually important for each other. So the idea here is you must understand, if Europe decides to punish, European Union decides to punish USA, or USA decides to punish European Union, both of them will get affected. Both of them will easily get affected by it. It is not that Europe will become easy to live or USA will suffer. The suffering will be mutual. Clear? Why is India weak? India's currency weak in Asia? Because it's again the same thing. What is it? Our exports are less, our imports are more. That is the same reason. Public opinion on Greenland. 85% of Greenlanders oppose leaving the Danish kingdom to join the United States. Already local level opposition is there. 85%. So even though it is a small population, just because you think it is a small region, I will go and attack it. The point here is you don't have the local people's support, means you are going to see at what? US losses here. Then 54% of US citizens oppose the United States taking over Greenland. Within your own country, you don't have support. Got the picture here? Clear? Sunita ji, what do you want? What bath you want to do now? See, understand people. Please be mature enough. I have students who are going to give their exam 2026 this year. My concern is only for them. सर आप हमसे नाराज क्यों हो? आप मेरे कमेंट क्यों नहीं पढ़ रहे हो? यार राइट, as if I have only that job here. Little, not every day. Little brains you please use. Like, why is this class being conducted? What is the purpose behind it? Little. ज्यादा दिमाग मत चला, थोड़ा तो इस्तेमाल कर. North Atlantic Treaty Organization and Alliance Stress. Any questions here till now? Jayashree, are we actually talking about it? Are we actually talking? Is that a mudda in our country for politics during during election time? Is it a mudda? We want R&D, we want manufacturing, we want industries. It is not even a concern. Political campaigning, if you actually see, it is all about who can give a better freebie. Who will give a better freebie? That is always the concern. All right. The United States is a founding member of NATO United States is obligated to protect Greenland under alliance commitments. That is the first and foremost thing. So this is like, basically shooting at your own leg. As per NATO alliance treaties points, they are basically supposed to be protecting Greenland. How we can improve the export and import of India? Well, we have to focus on manufacturing. We have to focus on research and development. We should have better technology. All of that. Array, we are not even able to control the pollution in Delhi. With all these years, pollution of Delhi, it is not something which started today. It is there since the 90s. And even now, we are not even having the data to pinpoint and say, these are the major areas where pollution is happening. These are the major contributors to pollution. We don't even have the data for it. Data itself we don't have. Whoever ruled, be it Congress, be it Aam Aadmi Party, whoever it is, ground level data collect करने में आपको किसकी मदद चाहिए? I'm very sorry. To collect ground level data, what is stopping you? You could have kept researchers, you could have hired college professors, you could have hired a team, you should have paid them money and told them, I want a report on this at the earliest. Or at least you could have collaborated with Niti Aayog. You have created a think tank. What are they sitting and thinking? Sitting in Delhi, they are not able to find out this. And then you are expecting exports to increase. Chill. Don't joke. United States provides a majority of missile defense capability. The Supreme Allied Commander, Europe, position is traditionally held by a US officer. That is the next comedy part. Already in Europe, multiple places, US military bases are there. Even in Greenland, there is a US base. Military base is there. So for them to attack Greenland, it will only take a fraction of a second. Once the orders comes from the commander, that is the president himself, the current pedo, automatically what will happen? Attack will ensure. Clear? It is nothing to do with America First Treaty. It is all to do with what is happening currently. Because this EU free trade agreement, this has been in discussion for a very long time. We will see that in a while. Claims over Greenland unsettled alliance cohesion and raised Article 5 credibility concerns. So, this entire claim over the whole thing has actually started questioning even the credibility of NATO. And thanks to Mr. Trump, NATO itself is looking like what? It is going to get dissolved. Clear? We will have to see. See, will that happen? See, the other thing that I want to tell you, all of you, is wait. Wait till something concrete happens. Current affairs, when you're reading it from the newspaper, it doesn't mean that every day, every minute, pin to pin update you need to have. It is not at all necessary. What will you gain by doing it? Ultimately, in GS, that is in GS paper 2 or GS paper 3, you may get 1 or 2 questions. Maximum worth 15 marks, 10 marks, or 15 marks, 30 marks. Not beyond that. Not beyond that, you are not going to get on updated latest current affairs. That is never going to happen. Max to max. So you must always look into the return on investment. When you are ready to invest on a topic, you should actually see, okay, to what extent you are going to get a question on this. Then it makes sense. I have been teaching this topic now separately, but finally I thought, okay, it is time now that I collate it entirely and present it to you, so that we have the whole picture in front of us. Okay, what is happening in the West? What is happening in Europe, in Russia, Ukraine? What is happening in the Middle East? What is happening in China-Taiwan? So the entire picture once we have, okay, now let us sit and wait. Let something concrete happen. Because unfortunately, be it international relations or polity, these are topics, or politics basically, Indian politics also, these are basically where high level of drama occurs. And we as Indians, we love a good drama. But a good civil service aspirant will stay away from the drama. Read the paper and wait. Wait till something concrete happens. Clear? Nothing will happen. Sanju Lambert. North Atlantic Treaty Organization is not at all secure. What is going to happen? See, Warsaw is no more active. Warsaw became obsolete the moment USSR got disintegrated. USSR went away from the picture. Warsaw went away from the picture. NATO is just nothing but a joke. If NATO disintegrates completely, the only impact it is going to create is in Ukraine-Russian war. Because the war exactly started why? Because Ukraine wanted to join NATO. But the moment NATO says NATO itself is not there as an organization, then what are we fighting for basically? That will be the $1 million question. And automatically then there is a higher chance that Ukraine will decide for a truce what Putin will say. Because Ukraine will know that Ukraine goes to America, oh, please help me. Yeah, Ukraine goes to Europe, please help me. They'll be like, hello, we are busy with other stuff here. You deal it by yourself. We are not bothered with Russia. We have a bigger idiot sitting to our west. That is the pedophile Trump. Only here the impact is going to be there. Got the picture here? Clear? 1 year. Taking it further forward. US and NATO presence in Europe. US contributes at least 15% of NATO's common budget. US contributes approximately 2/3 of total NATO military spending. US operates at least 37 military bases in Europe. Approximately 80,000 US troops are already stationed in Europe. Got the point here? Any doubts? How can I make best use of this series for NDR CDS? Attend the class. That's it. There is no best, no worst and all. Just attend the class. Greenland is strategically located between North America and the Arctic. Greenland is critical for early warning missile detection. As whatever it is from west or east, anything targeting Europe comes or anything targeting USA comes, it has to cross through Greenland region, which will pick up the missile signature. Greenland is important for Arctic maritime monitoring. Greenland possesses significant untapped rare earth mineral resources. United States maintains a military base at Pitufik. That's not the way to pronounce it. Greenland language is totally different. So their names are also pretty difficult to pronounce. But for Desi version, Pitufik is enough. So remember this name because it can come as a map-based question in UPSC. Clear? India should maintain neutrality only. India shouldn't unnecessarily interfere in anything where there is nothing. Indian stakes are not involved. Indian stakes are not involved. India, instead, what India can do is India can extend its support to Denmark. So that is where the India-European Union trade deal comes into picture because India will be also like, okay, we are ready to support you, but you never supported us whenever we had issues with Pakistan. You never supported us. Ulta, you are supporting Pakistan there, a terrorist state. So you also need to behave. What do you have to offer for us if we are going to offer a support? Give and take. That is where this deal becomes important. That is why there is a sudden change in the whole attitude of European Union. Because this new trade deal that they are calling the mother of the deals, etc., this is not something new. This has been in discussion since a very, very long time. Suddenly they have accelerated the gears. They have all put it in top gear and like, let us come to a grand conclusion as early as possible. Because European Union wants a new market. India also needs a new market. Because USA, they cannot trust it completely. Without even the help of, even before signing this so-called trade deal, India has already managed to increase its exports. That is the best part. Indian exports have managed to increase in November in spite of the tariffs placed by USA. Got the picture here. So whoever is sitting and blaming Prime Minister Modi, weak Prime Minister, etc., they are not speaking on the basis of data. In spite of the US punishment, Indian exports have not suffered. Indian exports have improved. So automatically some of you at least must be thinking, if that is the case, then why is it that rupee has not appreciated? Rupee value has not gone up. Well, like I have told you, the answer lies here. gold, silver imports. People are actually not spending money. People are actually buying gold and stocking it. They are paying back all their loans. So we are not actually buying much these days. That is one more reason why FIIs are going out and FDI is also reducing. Because generally in an economy, when you know that demand is shrinking, nobody will invest there. That is the reason. Got the point here? Are there any series or videos where sir is only covering geopolitics? No, brother. There is nothing like that. Europe, Ukraine and security dependence. Europe dependence on United States security guarantees increased after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Again, the Russian fear always. Oh my God, Russia is attacking Ukraine. What if something happens to us? US, please help us. This was the logic. And because India was close with Russia, automatically EU, European Union, developed an animosity towards India. La 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 la. Oops. La 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 la. Got the point here? This is the logic. So that is the reason why EU was always showing negativity. Little did they know that Trump will pull off his Greenland wala stunt. Now what has happened? Now it is like अभी ना जाओ छोड़कर के दिल अभी बरा नहीं अभी ना जाओ छोड़कर. Got the point here? Arun, by the way, it is not La 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 Land. It is a very old Kishore Kumar song. चेहरा है या चांद खिला है. That song. Clear? This is the point here. Clear with this, people? European countries pledged increased defense spending. Again, because of this new scenario now. Building independent European military capacity will take several years. Obviously. Because till now they were dependent on whom? They were dependent on USA. And suddenly they realized, hey, Bhagavan, what are we going to do? So, I cannot take weapons anymore from whom? From the pedo. I cannot take pedo's weapons anymore. And who is actually now currently leading in terms of affordable weapons in the world, exporting indigenously manufactured weapons, who has already has ties with France, who has already got ties with Israel, who has already got ties even with obviously USA also, Russia also, that is India. So European Union badly needs weapons now which are not made in USA, but again which is reliable. Directly they don't want to take it from Russia. Directly they will not buy it from Russia. But if there is a Russian weapon handed over to India with technology transfer, well, it's an Indian weapon now. I will buy it from India. Got the point here? Aha. Oh. Day, Adarsh, Krishnika, focus on the subject. Filling the blanks for the song's lyrics. That even I know. Any doubts here? Any doubts? The conflict in Ukraine remains stalemated. Stalemate means nobody is winning, neither Russia nor Ukraine. And right now, nobody cares also. Everybody is behind what is the next thing that Europe will do. Trump will do. All right. Escalation risk persists. West Asia and South Asia security. Large-scale hostilities in West Asia temporarily subsided. Gaza remains, however, volatile. Iran experienced widespread internal unrest. Iran described facing economic, psychological, military and terrorism-related pressures simultaneously. So in Gaza and other areas, what is happening? Again, there also issues are still troubling, but nobody cares for it anymore. Because the real drama is happening where? In the West for the first time. To be very honest, I am happy. Because always, like to quote our foreign minister, Europe should stop behaving as if the world's problems are not Europe's problems, but Europe's problems are the world's problems. When literally trouble came knocking to their door, that is when they are like, now they want to engage with all the other countries of the world. Got the point here? Indian Prime Minister going to other countries the whole year. What is the point of all this? Because he's single, right? So that is why. He's single. He wants to visit other countries, see their culture, take their awards, eat their food, then come back. That is what my mom told me once. He's single. Maybe he wants to travel all over the world and see things, enjoy he wants to do. I didn't know what to tell. I was like, yaar. See, all that travel, whatever the Prime Minister did, that is the reason why today India is a country everybody want to do trade deals with. European Union said this. If the Prime Minister would have said this in the Parliament or even during the Republic Day speech, then everybody would have said, "Arey, he's simply telling some nonsense." You should have seen. Did you see the body language of the woman, the European Commission President's body language? How she was talking. Got the point here. She was talking very, very happily. This is the mother of all deals. Very happily. It was almost like finally we have something. Forget that pedophile. We have something reliable here. That is the logic. Single mingle with Italy Prime Minister. Oh my God. Melanie. Western countries warned of additional, but all said and done, they are a wonderful pair, Melanie. Clear? That is the point. Iran described, okay, that is done. Western countries warned of additional sanctions on Iran. For Iran, it is like, yeah, big news. I don't care anymore. It is almost like maro, mujhe maro, or maro. Kitne aur maroge? Maro. Hit me. How much ever you want to hit me. More sanctions you will place. Wonderful. I don't give a damn. Do whatever you want. As it is today, $7 is the monthly amount that Iran is giving to each Iranian citizen to buy essentials. What essentials? Little rice, some dal. That's it. Other than that, they cannot buy anything. Got the point here? So that is the point. Renewed Iran-Israel-United States conflict remains possible. That is nothing new. That is age-old story. It was there before we were born. It will continue even after we are there. Afghanistan faces renewed military activity. Nothing new. Militant activity along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border increased. One wonderful thing is Afghan people hates Pakistan. That is there. That is also happening. Political instability persists in Pakistan. Again, nothing new. I mean, a defense minister going and inaugurating a fake Pizza Hut. How much more can you fall? And the unfortunate scenario, see, him inaugurating a fake Pizza Hut, this is not the problem here. The problem is that idiots in our country still believe this so-called defense minister of Pakistan, who keeps claiming that 5 Rafales they brought down, 10 Rafales they brought down. When you ask him for the evidence, what does he say? It is all over there in the social media. Are you serious, brother? I mean, obviously, you are never serious. None of you, the entire lot in Pakistan. My only prayer is that Kapil Sharma should not come on the road because of these jokers. The military increased influence over civilian governance in Pakistan. Surprise, surprise. We are very shocked to hear it. Not a single elected government in Pakistan has ever completed 5 years because of this military control. It has happened once again. What is the whole point? US expanded military cooperation with Pakistan. That is only to irritate India. That's it. Nothing else. And how has India retaliated? ये दोस्ती दुश्मन न करे दोस्त ने वो काम किया है. The new unholy alliance with Russia, India and China all coming together. That is what we have done now. We are like, oh, you will side with Pakistan. I have better players than Pakistan. USA also knows it very well. From Pakistan, they don't have anything to get because that beggar will come. Come, give me something, give me something. On humanitarian basis, you should give me money. I will not pay this money back to you. That beggar will go. But these two players, very strong players. This is what is happening. Clear? Obviously, democratic uncertainty continues in Bangladesh, which is again good news for us. Only bad news is these idiots will still try to come into our country. Not refugees. That is not the right word. Illegal immigrants, infiltration, those things. Clear? Why USA think it is so important for India? Trade is the reason. I told you, USA is our largest export market. First major market for us is USA. Second is Europe. But since November, we have changed our gears. Thanks to USA, we have signed new free trade agreements with multiple countries. Many of them have already started working. With UK, etc., to see the ground level change, it will take at least 4-5 years. Clear? Correct? Bangladesh, Pakistan, etc., how are they thriving with crippled economy? See, they are thriving with bare minimum. See, that is the point here. This is a basic human psychology. So if I have only been eating rice and dal all throughout my life, I have never tasted chicken, I have never tasted paneer, none of this I have tasted. I don't know the taste. So what will I feel? Rice and dal is only great, the greatest food on planet Earth. But if one day you give me chicken or paneer, then you stop giving it to me. Now what will happen? Now I will say, ye kya zindagi hai? What life is this? Where is the chicken? Where is the paneer? I will demand. This is exactly what is happening in these two countries. They only want the bare minimum. That is the thing. And they survive there by stealing, robbing, doing all that. That is how they survive there. Getting the point here. China-Taiwan military tensions. People's Liberation Army conducted exercises around Taiwan from December 29 to December 30, 2025. Nobody bothered. In and around Taiwan this was. Drill was codenamed Justice Mission 2025. It was the second major drill of 2025. Exercise aimed to safeguard sovereignty and deter separatism and foreign interference. Safeguard sovereignty. Sovereignty means China's claim over Taiwan. Deter separatism, that Taiwan's policies or Taiwan's foreign relations, these are not separate from Chinese. You are mine. Tum mere ho, idhar aa. That sort of logic. Got the point here. Religion. Religion is the only common denominator there. Operations focused on blockade, combat readiness and three-dimensional deterrence using land, sea and air forces. On day 1, 130 air sorties were conducted. Air sorties means with the fighter aircraft, fighter planes, air force. You will do these maneuvers in sky. 90 sorties crossed Taiwan Strait center line. This is the Taiwan Strait center line. 90 sorties crossed means you have literally entered into what? Taiwan's airspace. Got the point here. PLA Justice Mission 2025 military drills. Total of 27 rockets were launched from Pingtan. Names again, people, very, very important. Pingtan and Shishi. In the Fujian province towards waters north and southwest of Taiwan, and several vessels were deployed. 2 PLA amphibious assault units. Over here. As you can clearly see these. Wait a minute. Yeah. This dotted line connects all the vessels and the rockets. This red line, if you really see, that is the zone of Taiwan. So some you can see it has come really, really close. Ideally, they are supposed to be standing here only, within this room, inside this. Wait a minute, I'll draw the line properly. So this is your Taiwan straight median line or middle line. Got the point here? Crossing this, these people have sat, and they have launched it from Shishi, Pingtan. The impact zones over here. This. They ensure that whatever missiles or rockets that they launch, 17 over the northern part or the eastern part, and the southwestern part, 10 rockets, 17 rockets, threatening them. Correct? Democratic uncertainty means you don't have any clue about the political scenario, whether elections will be conducted, who will become the next prime minister or president. Correct, Dharani? Changes, geopolitics only can be triggered in power. Only can be triggered by true patriotism in particular country's citizens. As in, I didn't understand that. So that such country might get a stand in power among blocks of different countries. Nah. See, you need to get a stand or you need to find a purpose with blocks. Major blocks means I should have something to get from you. I need something from you. So if India needs European Union's market, what does India need in return? India wants Europe investments to come inside India. FDI, FII investments to come inside India. India wants Europe to purchase weapons from India. I should have something to give. They should have something to take. Or they should also have something to give. So it's a give and take line. Where I have something to gain, they also have something to gain. Only then we will end up in it. It has nothing to do with people's patriotism and all. Foreign relations, geopolitics is strictly about mind power. What can you bring to the table? What can you take from them? What are they ready to give? What are you ready to deliver? Why is that mission for? To threaten Taiwan. What we are capable of doing. And this is also to see when this whole thing, the timing matters again. People remember this. In geopolitics, the next thing that matters is timing. Again, many years ago, when the Cold War was still going on, Russia placed a few missiles, nuclear missiles, were in Cuba. One press of the button, it will straight away go and land where? Washington DC. With America, with all their spy satellites, CIA, FBI, everything, they were never able to track these missiles. They only knew that suddenly from Russia, from USSR, a couple of nuclear missiles have gone missing. They were not able to track it down. One fine morning they saw that, after 2 weeks or something, they saw that it is there in Cuba. Pointed exactly towards Washington DC. Pointed in the sense, I'm not telling it was pointed towards it, but one press of a button, it will land here. Literally everybody thought this was in 1962. Cuban Missile Crisis. USA was like, take this weapon away. Russians were like, no. So entire world's attention came down to this very small country because it literally looked like Third World War is going to start. At that exact same spot, got the point here? That war took place. Because everybody was worried about nuclear missile or a nuclear war. Nobody bothered about, okay, China attacked India. China was not a major power that time, nor was India. One communist country attacking a socialist country. Who cares? Let them fight it out. Nobody bothered. Same way. Entire focus was on what? Entire focus was on Venezuela. Venezuela, that, this, okay, President Trump is doing this, that, etc. China carried out a few military operations here just to check. Will anybody say anything? Will they do anything? Oh, nobody is saying anything. Okay, then one day I will take it away. That is what it is. Clear? On day 2, 10 long-range rockets landed in Taiwan's contiguous zone. China considers Taiwan a breakaway province. The drill followed a US arms sale package to Taiwan worth 11 billion United States dollars. So US sold weapons. That was what triggered it off. The package includes self-propelled howitzers, advanced rocket launchers and missiles. But anyway, understand one thing. When USA sells any weapons, they don't sell the latest weapons. They sell things which are a little older. Got the point here? Taiwan's domestic and external responses. Taiwan described the drills as provocative and coercive. Taiwan proposed a multi-layered air defense system called T-Dome. They will develop it. They are basically telling they will develop it indigenously. But the $1 million question is, if they are developing it indigenously, will they take the help of India? Or will they take the help of Russia? And will they provide the help? But as of now, Taiwan is telling, we will develop it by ourselves. Military modernization is slowed by political division. So inside Taiwan, as usual, one set of politicians are telling, why should we modernize it? There are voices again in support of China. See, another country will be able to take you. Externally, somebody can attack your house only when inside support is there. If everybody inside the family decides, I am not going to allow anybody from outside to step inside, it's game over. You could be a very small family. You could be very small in number. But if everybody is like pumped and united, nobody can touch you. But that is not the case again here. What is the case here? The case is again, inside Taiwan itself, there are political differences. Democratic Progressive Party controls the executive yuan. The legislative yuan is led by the Kuomintang and Taiwan People's Party. That is, it's totally differentiated. Defense legislation faces opposition blockage. That is, anything in Taiwan to improve the defense allocation, they have no interest in it. The European Union expressed concern over rising cross-strait tensions. Cross-strait means Taiwan Strait. Japan stated a Taiwan conflict would threaten its survival. China demanded retraction of Japan's statement. Got the point? Japan basically said, anything happens over here, even we will be threatened. Because little north of this only, Japan is there. So they are also worried. Oh my God, what will happen to me? China said, no, don't say such things and all. Retract your statement. So Japan is trying to get international attention to Taiwan issue. But Japan is really worried. If Taiwan goes, because Japan, see, already less population there. They hardly have a proper military also. Because obviously youngsters are very, very less. So they are really worried. If they can take away Taiwan away tomorrow, what is stopping China from taking over Japan? And China has a problem with Japan from Second World War. See, Japan now they will look goody boys and girls. All that they will do. Alright. very respectful, very caring, blah, 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 blah. They had one of the most barbaric army on planet Earth. The Japanese army has invaded a city or has arrived at a city when they say people used to commit suicide during Second World War. Because they knew it. It is not like how British will come, Russians will come. Russians also the same, okay. Russians, Japanese. They have arrived at a city means that's it. What people used to do was they will first what they will do is with a knife or whatever is there, they will kill the women in the home. Then they will stab themselves and die. Because at least they will get a quick death. Japanese soldiers, what they used to do was they used to rape the women to the point where they will die. Got the point? 50, 60 men used to rape a single woman every day. They will die. They'll just, after the female dies, they'll just take and throw it in one dump. So and then they'll burn all the houses, everything. Like that, many Chinese towns were destroyed by Japanese through this brutal, barbaric way. So for China, it will be like, okay, पहचान लिया, स्वागत नहीं करोगे हमारा. That is what China will probably do. We don't know. Probably. That is why Japan is acting a little weird here. Japan is like, oh my god, if Taiwan goes tomorrow, I will get affected. Oh my god. That is why Japan is a little worried. Not the point here. India does not have any major stake other than that semiconductor in Taiwan. India continues importing Russian oil. US trade pressure on India continues. India rejected accusations linking into the Ukraine conflict as inaccurate and misleading. Restrictions on arms transfer to Pakistan were eased by the US. India-US cooperation expanded in select mini-lateral initiatives. What is that initiative's name that has happened very recently? Rakshas and all will be, yeah, correct. Nanking massacre. Very recently, a deal was being signed, right? Something associated with semiconductors. Multiple are there. It is not just one incident. Multiple are there. If you see, when we talk about Second World War, 1939 it started, 1945 it ended. We paint Hitler and Mussolini as the main villains because of the concentration camps. Germany talks about concentration camps, but how many of you know that Hitler was dead against raping Jewish females? In all their accounts, they will never talk about a rape of a Jewish female because he was dead against it. Aryan race should not have any sort of physical relationship with a Jew. He was very clear about it because that is saw it as, oh my god, it is impure. You will only hear concentration camps. You would have never heard of rapes. Rape, Russians, Japanese. Very good. Pax Silica. So here and there, for small deals, they are calling. And a major deal may be signed. Got the point here? I would have, but I'm already married. Yeah. What is the time now? 9:32. How much more is pending? First of all, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this will take time. People will continue this next week. Okay. So that will be all for now. Let us put it on hold. The remaining topics are to do with India signing a trade deal with UAE. Then the regional connectivity what India is having in the Middle East. Then the Chagos Island which UK has transferred to Mauritius. Then the Board of Peace in Gaza diplomacy. Finally, BRICS structure, finance and digital currency. BRICS includes which and all countries. India, European Union strategic statement. Hopefully by next week, we will get a little more clarity on this European deal. We will update it and then we will take it up further. All right. So we have to continue from India, UAE and Gulf region. All right. Dhanashri Shinde. Leading actor I don't want. Even if I get an opportunity to become Ananya Pandey's father in any Hindi movie also I will go. I will run like Cinderella. And I will go and I will leave this field only completely. Oh, glad to hear that, Kushi. Now you can ask general questions. We respect the PM belonging to a particular political party. Shauvik Chatterjee, it is actually supposed to be you should respect the PM or the CM irrespective of which political party they belong to. Because both have been elected by the people of the country. You have a personal grudge with the style or way of functioning, that shouldn't be a reason for disrespecting them. Go on talking. By talking. That is the only way. When you were preparing, how did you tackle distractions? I was unable to tackle distractions because I did only preparation. So that is where I later found out. Today I don't have a problem in dealing with distractions because I am busy in my life. So that is why I keep advising you. If you feel there are too many distractions, your first thing that you should ask yourself is, why am I even preparing for this exam? If you really need to prepare it, etc., still you are having these distractions, you are wasting your time, please get into a job. At least start taking tuition, sell chai, do something, earn your own money. Thank you, Adarsh. Yes, I should enjoy. Thank you, Sheikh Munira Banu. See, current affairs is always based on whatever comes in the newspaper. Having said that, CLAT or NDA or whatever you're talking about, please worry about the static portions more than these dynamic portions. Because current affairs weightage during the prelims of be it NDA, CDS, CLAT, etc. is very minuscule. You should actually focus on the static part. Thank you, Vaishnavi. BSc in Sustainable Development. It will matter, Prathamesh, from which university you are doing it. It is not about the course, but from which university. And you should also see to what extent it has a scope in terms of employment opportunities in the future. All right. First, the static portion, Gunjan, because static is what is really required for cracking the prelims. These pointers, if I told you, this is necessary for your mains perspective. Prelims perspective, what we need is, say for example, which were the countries that opposed USA. Which are the countries that comes under BRICS? Which were the names of those places from where China launched its justice mission justice against Taiwan? That's the thing. I have no idea which classes I'll be taking. I have no idea. Career options in the field of geography. You can become a researcher. You can become a geological scientist. All that you can become. Inside India, what is the scope of it? I am doubtful. But yeah, you can become a geo researcher, climatology researcher and all you can become, because climatology related as well as pollution related research scientists will be having higher and higher demand as we progress in the future. Thank you, Motion. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Thank you, Satakshi, Suman, Shakira. Yes, you can connect me. 9C, you can connect me in Telegram. It is at Nikhil Ram Pabad. Are you coming to Mangaluru? I want to. I am missing the seafood of Mangalore. I want to come there. Beautiful. Anybody who plans to come down south, do visit Mangalore. Amazing seafood you get there. Amazing seafood. Don't make notes, Pooja. I already told you. Just understand it. Note down only the facts and the data. And then cross-check the topic with the previous year questions. If you find the topic there, write it down. Try writing the answer for it. Should I do the rest of leftover of IR parts from notes, or it will be covered next week? I will have to cover it next week because obviously geopolitics is going on, coming in the newspaper also. So obviously we will also get a little bit of update with regard to the whole India-European trade deal also. Accordingly, we will cover it. Do you know CLAT? My brother had prepared for it. Common Law Admission Test. He's a pass out from National University of Advanced Legal Studies, Kochi. After completing his BA LLB, he started practicing as a lawyer. That is when SSB bug came and bit him. And then he went and gave SSB with zero coaching. and he cleared it in this first attempt from the rejection center of, I think, Allahabad, right? Yeah. You're welcome, Vaishnavi. Manasa, see, I know you feel disconnected and all, but I will only tell you right now, utilize your time only to take down the notes. Forget about studying, forget about revising. Make the notes. Write all the notes possible. If writing becomes too much trouble for you, whatever PDF is sent to you, take its printout. Any which way you are earning, so you have the money with you, take its printout. Start reading it. Anywhere you get stuck, you are not able to understand, then open the video, recorded class, see where it was. Then move on. That part. Don't forget, people, those who are giving your attempt this year, your next weekly target will come tomorrow evening, 4 p.m. PWOnlyIAS English channel. Don't forget to log in. But I also got a goo. Goo what? I'm only seeing your goo. Have good sleep and good night. So thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Thank you. You want to become millionaire? Okay, start working for it. I got conference out from 34 SSB. Okay. Thank you, Shreen Patil. Your eyes are very kind. Ronak, see, these are all natural feelings. Getting attracted to the opposite gender, etc. It is only a natural feeling. But like I told you, find the purpose in life. Find your purpose. Because you are getting all these thoughts largely like I told you. You don't have deadlines to meet. You don't have things. Because see, there are people here who are like Manasa, who don't have time to think about pyar, mohabbat, nothing. She is totally busy. She is like, how to balance my work life and my preparation life. That is the way to live. If you are busy in your life, you don't have time to think about kisi ke bura bhi, kisi ke bhala bhi. You don't have time. You are like, I'm working. Oh my God, what is happening with me? When am I getting rest? When will I sleep? All these are your concerns. Congratulations. You have won in life. Occasionally, you will get a holiday. Say, for example, now Manasa is going to enjoy the Republic Day because she'll be like, finally, I can sleep. Because that day, she won't even have class. That day, she won't even have work. She can at least sleep a little, maybe 1 or 2 hours extra. When you know you're working hard, the only thing is, you will only crave. You will be only attracted to Sone do. You got a good job offer. Please take it, Surya. What a question to ask. Take it up. I want to become a geologist, but I'm from a humanities background, not science. Ooh. Who said you have to be from science actually? I mean, I'm not so sure. Just check what is the criteria to join or take up a course in geology. So true, sir. I know it, Manasa, because I'm facing it right now. I actually am. There are, when I really get busy, that is the only thing that I want finally, just to hit the bed and sleep for 1 extra hour. What will you do if you're getting stalked? Put an official complaint. All right, Nisha, you can do that. Nishant Yadav. Okay. So what is SSB after BA LLB? That is called JAG, Judge Advocate General. That is, you will be a lawyer in military court. It is like 8 to 1 p.m. I think. After that, you're free. But obviously, when you're having a court-martial proceedings and all, this 8 o'clock, it can become 8 to 10 o'clock in the night also. But that is rare. Largely, it is 8 to 1 p.m. There is no action and all. That is why I am sleeping peacefully. But whenever I read a news, maybe, okay, this fell, that fell, etc. One truck fell into a gorge, 10 Jawans got killed, etc. There is that 1 second where my heart skips a beat. Then I'll be like, nah, he told me he's in this thing, Punjab it is. This news has happened in that place. Okay. No, nothing would have happened to him. Then I simply message, and he will reply. Then I'll be like, okay. But otherwise, that is the thing. It is a perfect job, I would say, for you are in the military, and with respect. And the fact here is, if you're a jag and you're only a captain, even a colonel in the army will be scared of you, will be scared to mess with you. Because if at all a complaint comes against you, you will come to the court and there you will be dealing with the jag there. Now, in that terms also, it is a pretty decent job. But mind you, it is not at all easy to get because they will look for that particular quality in you. That is the point. Needed motivation needed. I have given my first attempt. Bangalore meetup planning. Actually, I came to Chandra layout yesterday. Yeah, I was coming back from the airport. I started feeling very hungry. So I took it to Chandra layout to eat my favorite non-veg food. I was there for hardly 1 hour or something. I'll try once my online commitments are over. Probably I will fix a day and I'll come there. Maybe that will only happen probably in April, not before that. And to take note, I don't have time. I'm preparing for AP State PSC. Any suggestion? Umaraja, what you do is take the printout of the PDFs, whatever you're getting, and start reading it. What are the areas that are important for UPSC? Swapna Toya Panda. Please visit PWOnlyIAS channel. I have given weekly goals, weekly 1, weekly 2 and weekly 3, which will come tomorrow. In that, important topics I've already shared. Go through that. Optional law or any other. You can take a you can take a public administration. You can even take a PSIR. Although I feel PABAD will be more closer to the subject what you studied. Little more closer. Because police will come, administration will come. PABAD is something. Sociology also you can consider. Picha Pillai, Prarambh English batch. Then you need to switch to Pinnacle batch actually then. Picha Pillai. Pinnacle batch is fully English. Please understand. Pinnacle batch is actually the English batch. Please call your mentor and ask them. Pinnacle batch. Complete English batch I need. How do you remember all the current affairs? Because I don't have the exam pressure. That is the reason. And I connected. And little bit, more than 50% I would say it is divine grace. Because frankly speaking, some connections what I make, it is not that I prepare it and then I make the connection. Randomly when I discuss it with you or when you ask a question, suddenly it is made inside my head. I cannot take credit for it. There is a superior power than me out there. I mean, more than all of us out there. So that is intervening there. Giving me the right thought at the right time. That's the thing. NDA, Ronak, right now I am a UPSC faculty. Directly, I understand UPSC Civil Service Exam faculty. NDA, as of now, we don't focus on it, to be very honest. അതേ മോനെ മലായി അല്ല മലയാളിയാണ്. Vijay Krishna Rajiv's birthday is going to come on 27th. Vijay, എല്ലാവിധ ആശംസകളും. ഒരിക്കലും തളരരുത്, ഒന്നിനെയും പേടിക്കാനും നിൽക്കരുത്. നമ്മൾ ഏറ്റവും എന്താ പറയുക, ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടുന്ന ആളുകളെ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടാൻ കാരണം അവരവരുടെ തൊഴിൽ മേഖലയിൽ ഏറ്റവും മികച്ചതായതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അതുപോലെ ഒരു മികച്ച സ്വന്തം തൊഴിൽ മേഖലയിൽ ഏറ്റവും മികച്ചതാവാൻ ഈശ്വരാനുഗ്രഹം ഉണ്ടാകട്ടെ. എല്ലാവിധ പ്രാർത്ഥനകളോടുകൂടി ഹാപ്പി ബർത്ത്ഡേ. വണ്ടർഫുൾ. If I do LLB from India, best law college and give UPSC, it gives impact on interviewer or not, Sitkar. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter from where you do your law from, where you do your graduation from. None of that matters to UPSC. Trust me. That and all has been created by the old board, old people and all. It doesn't matter. Manas, if it is your first attempt, as of now, you focus completely on the notes part because as it is, you're busy. Once your first attempt is over, then you can start thinking about other exams. Which language? That was Malayalam. Basically, I was telling him we love certain people in our life. Say, for example, be it Shah Rukh Khan, Ranveer Singh, Virat Kohli, or in my case, Mohanlal. Then music directors, script writers like Salim Javed scripts. The original, angry young man, the real macho man, alpha male that you talk about, that is from the script writing of Salim Javed. Whatever character we have, Rocky Bhai is there, that Bhai is there, this Bhai. Whichever Bhai you say, the original Bhai, if you really see, that was Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan's entire movie filmography, if you take what made him a superstar, Salim Javed. So what my point of telling you all this is, why do we like them? Why do we love them? We love them because they are good at what they do. So you should strive to become that person where you really do good in what you love. People will come towards you. That's as simple as that. When you're really good at what you do, you will attract people, you will attract everything. You will stop chasing things. That is why I keep telling, be good at what you do. Enjoy what you're doing. Stay disciplined. Which you can only do if you really want it. Otherwise, you won't do it. If I'm not at all interested in teaching, I won't be able to stand here like this. It's going to be close to 3 hours now. I won't be able to stand here like this and keep talking like this. I love teaching, I love mentoring, I love guiding. That's the point. First, go for job, Rahul. What tip will you give me to a 16-year-old who is aiming to be millionaire in India? Anuj Shetty, pass your 12th standard first. To complete my optional answer writing, should I skip this attempt? Answer writing is pending, optional is pending. What about your GS subject, Sahil? Is that done? Okay, can you please tell how to revise after everything? Should I read compilation notes? Do with my class notes. Rohit, whatever is in the compilation is what I teach. It is double. See, that's the same thing. What I give in the class, what is given in the compilation, both are one and the same. Refer any one. I would suggest you to stick with whatever I am teaching in the class, because that class will have the latest current affair. Those notes will have a little older current affair. That is the difference. Standard books and teachers notes. PW physics walas, the separate books that you talk about, PW books, those you can have for a value addition reading. But ideally, I would suggest you, please ask this question to your faculties only, like what should we refer? Most faculties will say stick to my notes, and they may probably recommend one standard book. Stick to that. That is enough. Because 90% of the content what a faculty will teach, you're going to find it in that PW book. It's just a repeat. I'm getting masters in AI, option from office. So thinking, option from office you are getting. Okay. So thinking to pursue as an option further from IISc. Very good, Manasa. Please take it up. Fully sponsored by the company. If you are able to pursue a post-graduation degree, for the love of God, take it up. Keep doing a preparation because company is sponsoring it, right? That means your job is pakka. Your job is pakka because company needs you then. Company will invest in you. Company will keep you till they vasulify that amount from you. So your job is pakka anyway. Please go ahead. Try it. UPSC, let it keep it parallelly. Keep it only like pickle. Don't keep it like a main dish. Mains ke short notes. Mains ke short notes, you will be only able to make it when you are very thorough with the subject. Understand that. Notes ka notes mat banao pehle. Notes pehle padho. Dhang se padho. Study the notes first, properly. Once you have a thorough grasp over the subject, then you will be able to make your own short notes. 60% marks is not the point. How many questions did you get wrong? How many questions did you leave? How many questions you didn't know because of lack of conceptual clarity? How many questions you made wrong because of conceptual clarity? That is what matters, not the score. What is your negative marking? How many questions did you leave? That matters. Are ho jayega, Manasa. What 3 things at a time? Don't think like that. See, when you venture out more only, God will give you more opportunities and more strength. Understand that. When you venture out more, so do it off. That this opportunity everybody doesn't get. A company is sponsoring your post-graduation. Come on. People are getting laid off here. First year by joining a coaching. Yeah, you can. That is answered. Tariffs means import duty. Sanction simply means I am purposefully only for you, I am increasing the tariff. So import duty is there everywhere. India also has import duties. But if India tomorrow decides to place exclusively this much import duty only for USA, then you call it a sanction. But the sanctions, when you generally say, it is not just confined to import, it is even import export will be there. That is, I am not going to buy anything from you, I won't allow anything to be, and I am not going to sell you also anything like that. Sahil, then give your attempt. Stick to your classes. MP, PSC student, Galaxy Maths. Stick to the classes. Attend the classes. That is more important. IAS, you are eligible. IFS, other than IPS, Armed Services, you are eligible for every other course. Bunny Fisher. I am studying at NIFT and preparing for UPSC. Very good. Excise duty is again a tax that is generally placed on those goods which are not covered by GST. Alcohol, cigarette, tobacco, all that. Vladimir Putin, I already answered that. World War III happened. Let it happen first now. Then we will discuss about it. Why we need to think. Why we should contemplate. Don't waste your time on contemplation. International politics, even though it's a very interesting topic, don't get only stuck there. It is not going to fetch you any purpose. Yeah, Niladri, you can do that. How to start UPSC prep? I am feeling nervous. Just start it. That's it. PSIR paper to current affairs. I have no idea, Akshay. My optional is public administration. Okay, now spammers are back again. Same thing coming again and again. BE computer science. What optional can I choose? Renoshia, you are an engineer. You can choose any optional other than engineering. Go through PubAd, go through PSIR, go through sociology, go through anthropology. Go through these 4 subjects. Anyone you can pick up. I know that, but again, for that also time is required to make be a complete full-time investor. You need to be very, very updated. Yes, you prepare another. So, a current affair class useful or no? Kerala PSC means you should be more concerned with Kerala news actually, more than national or international news, to be very, very honest. But not that you will prepare entirely in the wrong direction. I would request you to read a Malayalam daily also along with the preparation. Proton Abhi, BJP, whether they will win in Bengal or Kerala, I don't know. But at this rate, if you keep contemplating politics and international relation, your chances of cracking any government exam will reduce drastically. How does it matter? How does it matter? Do we have a strong opposition in this country today? Central level, I'm talking about. Within the Mahagathbandhan alliance also, there is no unity with the issues. Nothing is there. So then all probability 2029 also, BJP will win. As long as at the center BJP is there, maximum number of states, if they win, they lose, how does it even matter? Yeah, country, if entire states are under BJP rule, yes, they will have a huge majority even in Rajya Sabha. They can get anything passed, any bill passed. That means what will only stop BJP's galloping stride would be just the judiciary and probably a few media. That's it. But media also will have limitations. Other than that, nothing. But your cracking UPSC or not will highly depend upon how much you are thorough with your optionals and your fundamental subjects. So if you are planning to waste your time on these stupid contemplations, My prayers are there with you. That's it. Focus on QET, PG and college exams first. Working in HR domain for last 5 years. I completed my MCom, but I'm confused either going for government banking job or for teaching continuing in HR domain. Government banking job or continuing HR? HR, how much is it paying you? The salary is really good, stay there. If you are talking about teaching job, look at the salary package, then take a call. You're talking about banking. One thing about banking or any government job is basically you will have to have transfers. You will be having transfers. You're okay with it, go for it. HR job means, at least you're in that one place, one company. You shift a company only, things will change. Look at the money part. Pesa. And then take a call. All Muslim countries will join hands together, including Pakistan. From what basis are you telling this? Who wants to deal with Pakistan? Which Muslim country wants to deal with Pakistan? Entire Middle East, if you see, even Iran wants India. What is it? Even the so-called Palestine wants India. Everybody wants to deal with India. That's not going to happen. It is possible if you are very, very diligent. What are my views on Indian economy? Well, this year my prediction for Indian economy is gold prices are still going to increase. Number one. Number two, we can expect some more changes in terms of benefits. We can expect a little more benefits to come to the middle class in this upcoming budget. And further changes, again, it will come down to the new base year, which is going to be 2023, I believe, 23 or 24. So the new base year, once that comes, then on basis of that only we can make the next set of predictions. Sit and prepare for your exam. Other than that, nothing else to do. It is absolutely practical decision, Chaitanya, because once you lose your job, trust me, you will get married. That is the point. And if you're a boy, if you leave your job and sit and prepare for UPSC, you will get kicked out. Never sacrifice financial independence for either an exam or even for an individual. Especially if you are a woman. You need that with you. You need that grip with you. I'm seeing so many people who are regretting it today that they left their job to prepare for UPSC. Never do that. You have a job, because understand, Saraswati, everybody will say, you, Saraswati is important. Lakshmi first. Even to buy a book, you need Lakshmi. Without that, you won't be able to do anything. Now remember that. Respect Lakshmi first. What job is paying you, maintain that. Respect it. That will shoot even further, Manasa. It will cross 2 easily. Probably not 2. It will even probably cross 3 also. We can expect. It will touch 3 probably by the end of this year. 3 lakh for 10 grams. By December, we can expect it. RRB Group D exam. Go through the PYQs. Prepare according to the question paper. Good, Pratmesh. Then go ahead with it. What about Nifty? Nifty will maintain a steady line because of domestic investors. More and more people want to make quick money in share market. So Nifty will slowly be climbing. As FIIs keep going up, that will be climbing up. A bad optional for batch 2027. I think it will start from June. You have to manage it. Job is pressurizing them and all is just an excuse. I would still say take the printout of the class note, read it. There will be some time in the day, at least half an hour, 1 hour, you will be able to read. Read that time. Read, underline. Don't study. Read. Turn the pages. Then come back again. Read only what you have underlined now. By the time you are into the 4th or 5th reading, that theory will be very clear inside you. Alright. Full intense preparation. Yeah, it is possible. Views on upcoming TN elections. No views. I am not at all worried about the elections in this country. Trust me. I am not at all bothered. 50% of the MPs are having criminal background. 33% of MLAs are 33% of MLAs are having criminal background. People are voting on the basis of caste and religion. What views will you have? What views you want me to have? Doesn't make any sense. And some people are now in Tamil Nadu again wonderful. They are going to vote on the basis of an actor based on his on-screen image. No hopes on this country. What is it? I have a lot of commitments. Financial commitments are there. Married now. Have a kid. So I have a lot of personal commitments also. Otherwise, I would have left this country only probably. When you look at this thing, coaching center is mafia, your opinion. Same logic. Stop preparing for IIT, stop preparing for NEET, stop preparing for UPSC exam. Simple. Because if I don't run it, I don't teach, somebody else will come to teach because there is a huge demand. That is the reason. Mafia, the word means protection actually. That word originated in Italy, Sicily. Later they started controlling supplies. Supply of oil, supply of cigarettes, supply of alcohol, supply of food. Controlling it, deciding the price. So when you call somebody mafia, either they should be able to control the demand or they should be able to control the supply. Demand, obviously we are not controlling it. It is the Indian households that are controlling it. Supply also, we are not controlling it. If we fail to finish the syllabus on time, we will sink as an organization. New academy will come. How is it a mafia then? Don't prepare. That is what I'm telling. Don't prepare. Stop preparing for all these exams. Prepare for something else. Everybody do, जो दिल कह रहा है, वो जाकर कर लो. Simple. And otherwise also if you ask me, already all these batches, they're fake videos. I mean, what do you call that? Their videos are available in Telegram, right? For free. Why do you want to even pay for the course? Why do you want to pay? Which material is not available in the internet? Which material? Which content? One visit to Rajendra Nagar. If you walk through that area, you will find every material available there. Probably if you pay 2,000, 3,000, you will get the entire material. Printouts, photostats, what you want, you get it there. Then what? Simply, these are all just nonsense that is being created. Nonsensical talks. Yeah, pirated. That is the word. I was unable to. How to revise? Just read the notes every day. So many resources. Which resource is good? Google about them. Fundamental right is not a vote or duty in our country for the reason that when we became independent, 86% of the country was illiterate. So you couldn't have made it as a fundamental right or even a fundamental duty at that point of time. Because people were unaware of this. Educating the people itself was a huge thing. Getting the point. Fundamental duty also, you put it under it or you don't put it under it, it doesn't make any sense because it is a non-justiciable thing. I cannot drag somebody to the court telling that he didn't vote for the election. Got the point. And fundamental right, it is not considered as you can say basically it is part of right to life. But you cannot claim it as a matter of right. I have my right to vote, so I should go to the voting booth. No. Because if you are in jail, that is the reason. We'll call it a day, people. Alright. It's already 10:10. Good night, everyone. Wishing you all a Republic Day in advance. Take care.